Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of it's what I want, plus money when it's that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated, Bouquett produce, play the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we lead. Oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
Yo, what's up, everyone? We be pubbing. I love how he says that, Jimmy the Bag. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We do this every Tuesday. We always have a lot of fun. It's more fun when we win, but even when we lose, we have a lot of fun. Awesome comment section, as always, is what makes this show what it is. And shout out to JPZ. Shout out. It was so fun hanging out with him. I love the track. We should just. I would love to fuck around in the studio with him. Just fuck around in the studio with him. See what happens. You know, we both say shit cool. I say bet online cool. He says pubbing cool. Everything's cool. Jimmy the Bag. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing well. It's nice to be back in action with everybody. I'm looking forward to another week. You are running hotter than ever before. Last 4 shows for Peter Loshak, 70 and 35. Across all sports, 66.7%, up 35 units. ROI plus 25.9%, average line minus 114. The main thing on my mind for the last few weeks has been Operation Garcia. And, I got paid on Friday with no qualms. I know a couple guys who have their books have limited them to less than 10 player props. That's the only thing that's happened so far. I got a big payday with no qualms. And then I got crushed with the Garcia Operation Garcia on Friday. On Friday, Operation Garcia lost $2,082. So, I was up over $6K, but by Friday I was up about 5.5. Game 3, the Pacers Bucks was the worst game of the playoffs. Down $1,210. That went to overtime. The Wolves Suns game lost $688. So it was a blow. Then Saturday was a break even, up $18. Sunday down $352. At that point, I was down a little bit over 50% of my profits overall. But then made $928 last night. That Celtics Heat game was great. 11-5 plus 5.5 units made $948. So sticking to the plan with the Operation Garcia, 303 wins, 251 losses, 54.7% plus 14.65 units, ROI plus 2.64%. We had a double-digit ROI there for a while. And overall, I've made $3,962 on it. And it was smart for the local not to shut it down because it got crushed on Friday. So we'll see how that bangs out. So the best game is still game 2 Magic at Cavs that made $12.94. We have a new worst game. It's that Pacers at Bucks. Overtime hurts this badly. So that situation. Viper NB in the house. It's great to see all you guys. We have a huge slate. But most important to me, Peter, is it is Kentucky Derby week.
Oh, yeah.
At Pub Sports Radio. So we have a huge show on Saturday, all day, all night. Saturday starts, for me, our show starts at 10:15 a.m. So wake up bright and early, pour some booze in that coffee, and let's go to work. So
maybe we could, maybe me and JPZ could write a song about these shows that you do. Call it All Day, All Night, about your Kentucky Derby show.
I like where you're going with this. So all day Kentucky Derby special for the Kentucky Oaks on Friday. We will be on Razor Sharp Picks channel. So I'll do my show here, and then I'll head right over to Razor's channel for the Oaks. But for Kentucky Derby Day, we are right here. I'm going to start copying and pasting action in the chat. So I'm going to start with Vipe and go down to Justin McKelvey. Hart over 26.5 points. We got Smooth Balls play today. Brent Cook's action. Gerald Jones action. I'm going to start copying and pasting this action, Pete. So why don't you give them a welcome while I'm doing that, and then we'll get ready to rock.
Oh, you want me to give who am I giving welcome to? I'm sorry.
Anybody you please.
Anybody I friggin' want to. Jarek White. That's the first thing I'm seeing here. People talking about the overtime that killed him. Yeah, anytime, you always, no matter what bet you're making, you always want to bet size appropriately. You know what I'm saying? And if you're the more sure that you're that you have an edge, the more important it is to bet size appropriately, because there's nothing worse than having a legitimate edge and losing because you bet too big. Huge shout out out to everyone. Rocco Rogers, the Sweaty Butcher, Fat Wall. Yeah, Mel, look at this. Jimmy and Pete, I want to give credit to those who bet the Avs in this series. They are clearly the better team and will likely close it out tonight. Those people deserve the cash. Yeah, I mean, I did not see that coming, although in my defense, I capped the playoffs for like 10 minutes or something like that. My sense was that in general, a big offensive team with an iffy goalie is not the kind of team that does well in the playoffs. Like the Penguins for years were great in the regular season and then would fade in the playoffs. My sense was that in the playoffs, you want to look for gritty teams that are great defensively, that shut teams down, win low scoring games, 3-1 or whatever, 2-0. And, my 20-second analysis when I was tired and trying to enter playoff picks was that the Avs were kind of like the Penguins of old, great in the regular season, lots of goals, win lots of games, come from behind in the regular season, lots of games, and then in the playoffs they fade out. But that's obviously not been the case with the Avs. Huge shout out to everyone who took the Avs players in the contest of Pub Sports Radio. That was the right move. They knew it. Me and Mel are giving huge credit to people who saw that coming. I certainly did not.
You should. The 3-time Stanley Cup winning Pittsburgh Penguins, you're disrespecting their playoff.
All right, maybe they did what. So they did do. Weren't they like? All right, am I wrong that in general high scoring teams with not that much grit but a lot of skill tend to underwhelm in the playoffs, or is that wrong?
No, nothing wrong. I just needed this.
Yeah, I don't know who the Penguins are and how much they've won. Yeah. But my sense is that like I just remember going to playoffs. There'd be teams like the LA Kings or St. Louis Blues who are not too flashy, but they were very tough and gritty. And those teams tended to outperform in the playoffs based on my very faulty recollection.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't wait to talk about NHL here. I can't wait to talk about these 3 games. I'm getting hurt in the playoffs here. Losing that Predators spot hurt only because I'd already lost the first game with the Jets. And so then, I'm struggling in the playoffs right now. I'm struggling in the playoffs. I still feel like there's a ton of time left to deliver. But it's been I was shocked to see the Canucks show that kind of heart and come back. And, I liked seeing it, but I was absolutely shocked here.
Yeah, and Mel says, for the record, my cap's not like Pete. My cap was based on goaltending. Yeah, no, that was part of my cap as well, Mel. I was like, George. In fact, I think I said it in one of the videos. Like, Georgiev is a big liability for them, and it's going to cost them the playoffs. Obviously, that has not been the case.
I like it. Justin McKelvey, I don't know what the jail term is. There is nothing dicey about what we're doing. Nothing dicey at all. And the reason why you would get kicked out of the book is because you're beating the book.
Right.
Not because there's anything dicey about betting every player prop on the under. That's completely above board, completely legit, and completely, so, just to be clear, it is stressful putting in all this money on player props. So I can understand, why you wouldn't want to be into it. But, okay. Okay. Sorry. You're talking about your temperament. Okay. I thought you were inferring that there was something shady about betting every player prop on the under. All good. Let's get to work here, Pete. Let's get to work because we have a big card ahead of us. We're going to start with the NHL playoffs, then we'll get into MLB, and then we'll close with NBA. And Pete, you got to stay hot, my friend. And your MLB record, unbelievable. We'll talk about all of that here once we get to MLB. But let's get into NHL right now, my friend. Let's get us started here with Leafs Bruins.
Okay, NHL. Unfortunately, I did. I priced out some props for a few of these games, not all of them. I didn't get to my fucking strikeout props. Maybe I'll try to do that on the fly as we do. Maybe you could have Jose open every game so I could do a little bit of last minute MLB cabin. But yeah, all right. So first game in NHL, we're starting with the Bruins game, Jim.
Yes, we are.
All right, so obviously Boston's up 3-1. Nuke Worker in the comment section said that my breakdown of what I was expecting from the Avs is actually what happened to Toronto. And Boston's up 3-1. They won 2 in a row in Toronto. Is Toronto going to come in here and fight? I'm sure well, maybe not. I assume that they will. Any team in the playoffs even down 3-0, I assume is going to fight. Maybe not though. I know that Austin Matthews is a little bit banged up, right? So that's bad. It just seems seems like Toronto is deflated. So at first glance, you'd think, all right, but Toronto did win a game. They're a big dog here against Boston. Maybe we take a shot with them. But I think it feels like more likely, I don't know, that Boston closes this one out, especially since last year, I believe it was the same situation, right? But first round, Boston was up 3-1, and then in the first round, then wound up losing the series. So when you have a team that had that happen one year, it's in their minds the next year, and any kind of like subconscious lethargy or complacency might not be there. So I don't know. I gotta think probably the right play would be Boston again, but I don't know. What do I know? What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I'm right with you. I bet Boston on the -1 line. I'm surprised there's been a move back to the Leafs. Still at this point, being a 4-cent move to the Bruins from -145 to -149. Now, I mean, the only concern is here that I've been wrong in this series. The times I expected the Leafs to show heart, is just Bertuzzi and Domi were the ones showing heart. And so I've been very wrong on this series. This total's gone from 5.5 up to 6. I'm a little surprised. I mean, we all know how these elimination games go. If the team that's down or close to being right on the brink of elimination has the lead, it's an under game. And if they're behind, it soars over. I mean, it's a pretty. So I kind of stay away from totals on these elimination games, and we know that Bobano has such success with the third period over in these elimination games. Samsonov has not been good in this series. 3.32 goals against average, 883 save percentage. I don't think you can put Wall in now. I think it's too late. I know that he came in for a little bit last game. I don't think you can start him. Swayman is starting for these Bruins, and that makes sense to me. He's been spectacular. In the playoffs, 1.34 goals against average, 956 save percentage. Toronto's power play in the playoffs is 7.1%. Well, you're not going to win the series with a 7.1% power play. Their penalty killing, 53.9%. So the Bruins have just dominated on special teams, 46.2% power play, 92.9% penalty killing. I see a wounded, battered Leafs team and just put a fork in them. They're done. And maybe it's simplifying things too much. This Bruins team is so confident. It's so confident. They don't want to go back to Toronto. They want a break. They want some time off. Marchand broke the Boston playoff goals record, 56, past Cam Neely for the top spot in franchise history. He had an assist. He's playing as well as I've ever seen him play. I mean, leave it to those superstars to step up. 12 goals Marchand has scored in the Air Canada Centre Scotiabank Arena in our building here in Toronto. So that ties Brian Trottier for the most by a visiting player at an opposing arena in NHL history. Nobody, no one's ever scored 13 goals in the playoffs in an opposing arena, which is shocking. Trottier did that 12 times at the old Washington Capitol Center. And Marchand's, destroying the Leafs here. Van Riemsdyk, ex-Leaf, scoring, playing dirty in front of the net. Don't see Leafs in front of the net. Mitch Marner, he was, whining on the bench. He threw his gloves down and what do you call that? Throwing your gloves down like that? It's not a hockey move. It's not. What is that? Is that a hissy fit? I don't know what is that? I mean, that's not a sign of any strength or anger.
Where I'm from, that's just called being a little bitch. And then that's right. I called you a bitch. That's what you say after that. You go, yeah, I did. I called you a bitch. That's what that is.
And what the hell is this mysterious illness following around Austin Matthews? I'm sure it is. There is one. No one knows what it is that's been just hanging around him. It's funny because that game 2 in Boston, he was the best player on the ice. And then he's sick again. It's too bad. Nylander with headaches, missing the most important games of his career because of headaches. And look, again, what am I supposed to say about that? I mean, it's like calling somebody out with mental health issues. What do I know? I don't know what that he's going through. That he can't play in the most important games of his career because he's got a headache. I can't say anything about it. All while Sheldon Keefe sits back and applauds their effort. I mean, what a joke. It's an absolute joke. Be nice to get Bobby McMahon back, from injury. We know he plays with heart. He's missed last 2 games regular season and then missed 4 straight in the playoffs. I mean, here's a guy with 117 hits and 56 appearances, but it's not like the Leafs are playing soft. It's just their star players are invisible. And you got to break them up, and you got to fire the coach, and you got to go in a new direction. And Brad Treliving is an idiot, and you shouldn't have put him in charge. Brendan Shanahan needs to go. You got to fire everybody. You got to fire them all. Fire them all. Start from new. Shanahan has no idea what he's doing. I mean, here's a guy who they got rid of Lamoriello for Kyle Dubas. The Leafs deserve all of this. Now, I don't think their fans deserve all this sadness, but the franchise deserves all of this. And now you got to break up those 3 stars and send the little bitches wherever they're wanted. If you want to keep Matthews, keep him because he's an extraordinary hockey player. And I'm on the Boston Bruins -1. Let's put our foot on the throat of an opponent and get paid. Simple. I got
it is kind of weird. Why is the line moved in the opposite direction though? That's kind of odd.
Look, maybe Matthews is a go. I imagine this is like a first period under type of situation, but I don't even want to get into that. Look, I have had this series wrong throughout. So the fact that now I'm on the Bruins, I don't know if that should give anybody confidence back in the Bruins, but I just see a deflated team. And the Bruins just don't care. They want to hurt you. They want to finish you. They want to sweep you. They want to move on. They've lost in the 7th game in 2 playoffs in a row in the first round. They need to move on to the second round. I'll place a huge bet on the Panthers once that happens. But look, there's a legit move here in the marketplace to the Leafs, and I'm sure that says that Matthews is playing. I think that's all that is. But I don't know if he is playing, and I don't want to trust. It's just fine. Let's just move on. It's very, very easy.
Yeah. You know what? It makes me nervous that Sammy Calmer says he thinks that they win tonight. It makes me nervous that the line has moved where it has, but I agree. The main factor for me is that is what happened to the Bruins last year. That's definitely got to be still in their mind. So I'll take that one. And if it loses, that is fine. I'll take Boston -1 plus 114. That's the current line to Heritage. Once again, I will shop around and get a better line at the end of the show. And I might want to add on some sorry, Jim, I'm just doing a lot of stuff here. I'm behind trying to get all my work in. And I might want to add in some props here, just a couple of them. Pavel Zacha, he's been playing great, right? I mean, he's great, right?
Is he great or are the Leafs terrible? I mean, it's hard to, is Marchand the best player in the NHL, or is this a heartless, gutless group of, beer league hockey players? I don't really know, and I'm going to fade Boston heavy against the Panthers. So.
Right. Okay, well, I will take Zacha over 1.5 shots on goal. It'll be like -180 or so, like minus 134, and I think I'm going to take DeBrusk over 1.5 shots as well. Is there any chance that Toronto comes here and just is capable of shutting down shots against Boston?
Oh, I imagine that the only thing that the Leafs can do right now is block every shot. Go down, show heart, show effort. So the only thing they can do is play extremely tight, accountable defense.
Because that would reduce shots as well as goals.
That would, yeah. But then if the Leafs fall behind, they're going to have to open it up. I mean, it's one of those things that you want to, maybe bet. I imagine the first period goes under. I still don't even want to do that because, again, I'm tired of expecting this Leafs team to play with any heart. And maybe as soon as I give up, then they step up with heart, show some heart. I mean, and Dan Bonner going with that third period over. I get it, but again, the team who's about to be eliminated needs to be behind, which means that you can live bet these totals pretty nicely. And Jared White says full game under. I mean, again, you have to hope that the Leafs have a lead, because as soon as they fall behind, they have to open things up, and this is a travesty. I was hoping to see a good series here. Now, a lot of people think it's been a great series because Leafs are losing again, and the Bruins are showing their toughness. But I let's just move past this, Pete. But yeah, I'd be concerned that the Leafs, even if the Leafs, in my mind, show as much heart as possible, they lose 4-1. It's 2-1, and then goalies pulled and a couple of empty netters. I mean,
all right, I'm going to hold off on props for now, just because I don't want to take juice is big. I'll just stick with Boston -1 plus 114, and if it loses, that's okay.
Yeah, and you got a better line than I did. So Bruins -1 at plus
114
for Pete. Okay, let's roll on, Pete.
Okay, what's the next game on the card?
Next game for us is the New York Islanders at the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, all right, so here we go. Also, that Carolina up 3-1. Isles won last game in OT to avoid the sweep. I don't know. I'm thinking about this one the same way as the other game, even though Carolina is a much bigger favorite now. All season long, I've kind of betting these games in game in and game out. You really get a sense of which team has good character and which team doesn't. And the Isles just kind of like they have some good players, they have some good components, but overall they just really tend to disappoint. Carolina, a great team, of course, and I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Carolina -1 as well. The Isles won their last game in OT to avoid the sweep, and now Carolina, I don't think Carolina wants to let themselves lose 2 games in a row on this one. So I got to be honest here. I'm leaning Carolina again I'm leaning the big favorite to finish in 5 again, even at -250 for Carolina. What do you think?
I can understand that. And at this point, I expect this to be the only game that I'm not on. I can understand that. This 5.5, there's been a slight move towards the over. It's still juiced to the under. And on the money line here, the Islanders are +210. They opened up +199. So the Hurricanes gone from -230 to -238. The big difference here in this hockey game, look, I cashed on the Islanders in game 4. Now, I did lose on the first period, but, getting the +158 full game covered, all of that. And I was sitting beside Spenny Penny Bombs at the Woodbine racetrack while we did it. And Spenny picked up 1.1K on the last race in the pick 5. I picked up just under 400 on that race. Took him for 1.5K at the end of the day. And we weren't losing. So it was leading up to this. It was just a glorious, glorious day at the track. Shout out to Spenny Penny Bombs. A $21 pick 5. 20-cent pick 5 cost him $21. Pick up 1.1. Look, the Islanders have heart. And you know what they also have is a goaltender stepping up. Semyon Varlamov, 2.08 goals against average, .930 save percentage. This is that same type of situation. If the Islanders are up 1-0, this game's going to go under. I do not see a risk reward with Carolina, but I don't want to go back to the Islanders well here. I'm fortunate to have cashed that in game 4. Their power play and penalty killing identical, both these teams in the playoffs. The Islanders are playing well. Barzal scored his second goal of the game, so their best players are stepping up. Varlamov stopped 42 shots, 18 in overtime. It was his 36th birthday. I love watching him shine. Now they lose Matt Martin to a lower body injury. Ruslan Ishakov came in to replace him. Jesper Fast is expected to be done for the playoffs. So he's not coming back. Rod Brindamore says that they don't expect him to be back in time. And Pesci is not going to be back in the first round. Look, Mel saying under a pass. I agree with that. There's Troy Torrance in the house. Great to see all you guys. Gifted Cartel, Ricky Bobby, Philly Eagle Flyers, Swiggy. Great to see you all. Ramon Scott, Steve G, Dan Bonner, Kelly McKinnis, Jack White, Lee Davis, Slatzy. So this is just a no bet. I would like to be on the under. But then if Carolina scores first, then you've lost. I mean, I don't want to be in that situation. And I fear what Varlamov can do. I do. I fear what the Islanders can do. The Islanders can play top level defensively. Their penalty killing's weak. That's been a huge problem. Hurricanes power play with Gensel's might be the best in the league. I'm just off of this spot. If I was given a free bet, I probably would, with a free bet, take the Islanders at +210. And I would take the 5.5 because under 5.5 because that correlates. And if you like Carolina, take care of business, you probably like the over. But I don't know how anyone could bet the over with the way Varlamov just looked, and you have one of the greatest goaltenders in the history of the sport on the bench looking down at him. This is just an off for me, sadly. Stimmy's on the Hurricanes team total under 3.5. BJ says books are saying Canes closed it out. Islanders got their dog money last game, not here. That's fair. BJ says Canes roll, and the price indicates that. Yeah. I mean, well, I think it indicates a team like the Islanders, who won 18 of 41 games in regulation on the road, against a Hurricanes team that only lost 10 times in 41 games at home in regulation. I think it's that. I think the line indicates that you have a superior team at home with a superior record against the team that was under 500 on the road. I don't think the market's saying, look, the Hurricanes are going to shut the door and finish this off. I just think it's the fair line based on the records of these two hockey teams. Personally, you have a wild card team against a team that would have, won any other division with their record. But I feel you. And Lee Davis on Islanders, we're wondering about Islanders +1.5. Like, I can't. And there's Who Banging Sports Talk in the house. Who Banging in the house. Shout out to DJ Big Boss. Yeah, I'm off of this spot. There's Mel said I would consider a Varlamov save prop to the over. That's a really interesting way of looking at it. That's a really interesting. And my dude says for some reason my gut loves the Islanders tonight. I'm off the spot, Pete. I'm off the spot.
Okay, I will. I want to price out a bunch of props, and I really am not finding anything. But I will take a Martin Necas, however you pronounce it, to get a point. Minus 112 current line at Pinnacle. I'll shop around to get a little bit better, but Necas to get a point, minus 112. And there's a few other things that the statistics are liking, but I need to do the art part of it. I have only done the science part of it, and so just glancing. I guess I'll just stick with that for now. Okay?
Necas, and you can add as well as we go through this. But let's roll into Avalanche Jets.
Okay, here we go. The Avs, what an amazing friggin' team. Up 3-1, rolling. Everyone who picked Avs, players in the Pub Sports Radio contest is killing it right now. I don't even think I took any. I think I took McKinnon. What a swing and a miss that was for me. So Winnipeg's down 3-1. They were supposed to be a lot better in this series, not really getting it done. Hellebuck. Everyone talks about how great he is, and he is good, but I just remember during the regular season a couple of years ago, he wasn't as good as people were saying. Now here he is in the playoffs, not really getting it done. Georgiev is playing great. Lehkonen, the Avs are all just like rolling. I don't know. My sense would be that Winnipeg, as a dog, to at least push it to a game 6 would be a play, but I don't know. The Avs might just be way better.
I mean, from a skill standpoint, I don't even think the Oilers necessarily have the skill of the Avalanche. I still think that the lack of toughness. Now, Manson is as tough as they get, and look, I mean, they don't have small forwards. I mean, the Shushkin is 6'4". I mean, it's not a small. It is in comparison to other teams. They're not as big as I would have built, but trust Joe Sakic, of course. Here, look. I think the Jets have the kind of heart to win this hockey game. But I haven't bet it because I am not sure at this point if this is the right risk reward. Sitting at plus 106, I would like to get more than plus 110 right now. I mean, we've all seen what's gone on. The Jets have been outscored 16-5 over the last 3 games. I still think Georgiev is a weak link, 3.04 goals against average, 885 save percentage. Look, we saw the Oilers win cups with Grant Fuhrer. I mean, it's not like you need the best goaltender in the league or even an elite goaltender. And some could say that Grant Fuhrer was back then. He just, was left out to dry often with odd man chances against or whatever. I think that Connor Hellebuck has the kind of heart to step up in this game. Again, I still want the right risk reward to bet it. He's been terrible in the series. 5.22 goals against average, 870 save percentage. Colorado's power plays at 40% and their penalty killings at 81.8%. So yeah, they're going to win this series. The Jets 18.2 and 60. It's just not enough. So that 5-1 loss, Colorado game 4, it's got to hurt. And shout out to Nichushkin. We've seen a lot of guys go into the player assistance program and basically not be heard from again. But he's able to still play on that elite level that he was playing at before. And him saying how he's never been happier in his life after that hat trick. First hat trick in his life. 580 games, including the postseason. He finally gets his first hat trick. Shout out to Nichushkin and the character that he's showing throughout this. But look, Connor Hellebuck's going to win the Vezina. So this doesn't affect that. And I know it affects it in our heads, but I expect him to step up here. I expect him to step up. I mean, you have McKinnon, who may be the best player in the NHL, or Makar might be the best player in the NHL. He's certainly the best defenseman we've seen since Bobby Orr. I mean, so he has 73 points now in 65 career playoff games. That's the second highest per game average by a defenseman in postseason history, behind only Bobby Orr at 1.24. Nemesnikov got hit in the face by the Nate Schmidt puck. I do think that might be able to galvanize the troops. Brendan Dillon with the cut on his hand. It hurts not to have Brendan Dillon out there. But the Avalanche are feeling good about themselves. They bring up Kovalenko, Nikolai's Kovalenko, which is great. Andre's son. And, of course, Andre was part of the trade that got Patrick Watt, to the Avalanche so that the Cups could, come forward. With everything said and done here, Slatty says Jets are as fragile as the Leafs right now. I took 3 Jets in the pool, which will knock me out. Steve G says, don't like this spot for my squad on the road. Possibly looking at OT bet plus 360. This is a spot where I expect the Jets to play with absolute heart. And you know what? I guess I kind of needed to see that from Steve and Mel. Now, Mel saying the middle stat line is story of this series. It says embarrassing Scheifele in the series. This series can have a second half of it. And that is possible. The Jets are a really good hockey team. So I expect them to come home and win this hockey game. I would like plus 110 or plus 115 to bet it. I'm hoping I get that. So, yeah, I want to bet. And also, if the line doesn't move in the Jets' favor, that might still give me the confidence to bet it. I just wanted to talk it out because obviously the Avalanche look like a runaway freight train right now. But I'm going to be on the Jets.
All right. I think that Winnipeg is going to come to play. I don't know if that means you're going to get a win, but I'm gonna take some props. I'm gonna take some props with Winnipeg. I'll take Josh Morrissey assist minus 108. Ehlers shots on goal over 2.5 minus 134. Velarde over 1.5 at minus 174. Velarde point at minus 110. And I'll also chuck on for the Avs Wood over 1.5 shots on goal minus 186. These are all at Pinnacle, and I'm going to shop around for better lines while the show is going. There's a few other props I'd love to chuck on, but I think you're right. I think that that I don't know if I trust Winnipeg to win, but I do trust them to play really well, and I don't feel comfortable taking Avs offensive props, even though they've rolled even on the road, just because Hellebuck, maybe it's recency, maybe it's a what's the word? Not a recency bias. I still think Hellebuck is good, even though he's gotten scorched. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that that the Jets will show that they're a good hockey team. And it's tricky trusting a team's heart and character and soul. I like the Jets. I like Rick Bowness. I like Hellebuck. I like Morrissey. I love Lowry. So that's a problem. I kind of like the hockey team. I think they step up and show heart here. We'll see.
Okay.
Let's roll on to the last spot on the board. 10 p.m. Eastern. Preds Canucks. Take it away.
Man, Jimmy the Bag, you know that I gave Nashville in their last game as a birthday pick for Nutflush Allen. This is just what sports betting is. This is what hockey is. Nashville was up 3-1 in the third period, looking awesome. And then even where they were only up 3-2, there was an empty netter that they were about to get to put them up 4-2 to cash minus one. And it hit the net. It didn't go in. Vancouver did tie it up, then won in OT. Unbelievable. I mean, you want to look back at how games went and be like, did I make the right bet there? Or did I make the wrong bet? In that situation, I think I made the right bet on Nashville, even if it lost. I don't think I've ever made a bet that I was, in retrospect, the losing bet that in retrospect, I was like, I think I was on the right side there. More than that game. Nashville absolutely should have won that game. Should have won that game by 2, but they lost. Now they're down 3-1. Now they're on the road against Vancouver. So I don't know. Maybe Vancouver is just that team with that mojo. What happens in this series can Nashville win 3 in a row? They are obviously talented. They are outplaying Vancouver in many ways. What's going to happen here, Jim? They're a small road dog. I'd love to take Nashville again.
Well, first and foremost, let's stop for a second and talk about our friend Robert Franklin. Said haven't been around much. Had to lay his pops to rest last Friday and being a rough weekend, but time to get back at it. Robert Franklin, there's nothing that anyone can say right here that that we can do justice for what you've been going through. But all we can tell you is that we love capping with you, and I'm so sorry that you and your family had to go through that very, very difficult time. I'm so sorry. We're all, it's just words can't, there's nothing you can say to make it better or anything like that. But what we can say is welcome back, and let's cap, and let's do what we love. And that's capping, and just sending love and strength to your family, and you're welcome back with open arms as always, Robert. We love capping with you, man. So it's a wonderful way to take your, I don't think pain away is the right term, but just to get away from the difficulties of life is focusing on capping sports. And it's always there for us, and we're always there for you, as you are always there for Pete and I and Jose and I. So let's get back to work, Robert, and welcome back, my man. It's great to have you. And our condolences and love and strength to your family, my man. Here, Pete, the Canucks have shown heart that we haven't seen around these parts in a long time. And Brock Besser, I was all over. Rick Tockett's done a phenomenal job with Brock. I was all over him. I question his character at times over the last few years, but he's been a stalwart hockey player through this whole season. I was very wrong about him. And maybe they needed this Casey DeSmith, Artur Silovs. Maybe they needed to go to show that they do have this heart. And we know who has it. I mean, we know the guy best, JT Miller. What a monster JT Miller is. What a great hockey player he is. Nashville's power play is at 6.7% in the playoffs. I mean, that's a huge problem. This was a decent power play. Vancouver was just a tiny bit better than them during the regular season. You have Roman Josi. Roman Josi had to take a couple stitches last game too, and he was off of his game. The Vancouver's penalty killing at 93.3%. I mean, that's how you win these types of series. Besser first hat trick in the playoffs. Elias Lindholm scored into overtime. Miller, of course, was in on all of those goals. That's the first time the Predators have lost a playoff game leading by 2 or more goals in the third period in franchise history, ever. So, what is the problem here? And I think UC Saros has not been very good all year long, and maybe he can bounce back. We see goaltenders bounce back the following year after a bad year, like Hellebuck did this year after a poor year last year. But he's an .857 save percentage, and it's just not good enough. And Artur Silov making his NHL debut from Riga, Latvia. I mean, it's great. It's NHL playoff debut, not NHL debut. He played 4 games in the race. I think he played once last year too. So the Canucks are the second team in NHL history with 3 different goalies to win each of their first 3 games in the postseason. The Canucks did it in the 2004 Western quarterfinals, and then Chicago did it in 1972. It galvanizes the troops, and that Chicago, that was Esposito game 1, Gary Smith game 3, and Gary Desjardins game 4. Look, I've just been around this hockey team my whole life, and maybe they'll change this script of them losing and losing and losing and breaking our hearts, and maybe this is the group that changes the script, but they're going to have to do it, and I will bet against it. I don't think there's a point to bet the Predators at plus 600 to win the series. I think you get that money betting them every game. So I'm right back on the Predators. I got plus 105. If the Canucks can do this, I'll be happy to see it, but I will bet against it. Right now it's at plus 106. The Predators open up at plus 103. From a total standpoint here, we're sitting here with a 5.5 minus 103 to the under, open minus 101 to the under, 2 cents to the under. Look, I'm Slatsy says Preds 1-7 last 8 versus Nucks. Nuclear says I could back Preds here, but not for even money. Look, I'm going to bet against the Vancouver Canucks here. The Predators are an extremely angry group. The Canucks feel very good about themselves. Do the Canucks have that killer instinct? Can they finish off an opponent here? I think the Bruins have that killer instinct, even though they've lost 2 straight playoffs in 7 games in the first round. I'm going to bet against the Canucks. So I bet it, stand by it, and if the Canucks want to prove me wrong, then go do it. Go do it. Yeah.
How does being on the road affect Nashville being able to do what they want to do?
I think it's great. I think it's good for them to get away from Nashville. I mean, you want to get out of the building. You just lost twice there. You probably should have won both. Just get out. Just get on the road. I think it's good for them to get out on the road. And you could say that the pressure's on the Predators. The Predators weren't even supposed to make the playoffs. I mean, I cashed their over point total in regular season 87.5. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs. I don't think there's pressure on them. They as Real Deal Prime saying they enjoy the road. They were 24-14-3 on the road this year. That's a very, very good road record. Get out there, get on the road, and play your best hockey game. There's no reason why they can't do this. They go out on the road and play their best hockey game. And Real Deal Prime says Vancouver believes, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't, especially their fan base after that comeback? And we're not used to those types of comebacks in these parts. So I'm on the Predators plus 105 here, Pete.
All right, I'm going to take some props and I'll quote the prices right now. But again, I'm going to search for better lines later. I'm going to take Evangelista over 2.5 shots at about plus 125
before you do all this, I just want you to know what Subhuman Gaucho did last game and what he's talking about here.
What's that?
Just because it worked so well. He took said bet every single player to go under their shots on goal in the series. He took 12 unders last game, went 9-3. So there's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of offense. So just a very important note. And Slatsy loving what Subhuman Gaucho's doing. So and also Subhuman Gaucho's hockey plays of the day up 20 units on the season. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Or another shot prop was going to be the under, and maybe I will add some others. But I will stick with Evangelista over 2.5 at about plus 125 or so. I'll take Nyquist assist at about plus 110 or so. I am going to take Elias Pettersson under 2.5 shots at like minus 175 or so, and I will take a shot with Nashville race to two. I will find a line for that, but I will take a shot with Nashville race to 2. See how it turns out. I will make all 4 of those plays official. And there's some other stuff that I was thinking about as well. I was thinking about like Lindholm under his shots. Actually there were a bunch of shots that I let's see, where's Lindholm? Yeah, that's a 1.5 though. Let me see. Gosh, I didn't have
there's a lot of talk about who's going to be in net. The expectation with DeSmith was it wasn't it was like he was going to be able to come back in the series. Unlike Thatcher. So at this point, everybody expects DeSmith to be right back in here, and that's the underlying idea. But nothing is being confirmed, and I think that the optional practice day he'll be on the ice. So I think that will tell the tale. Sorry to interrupt, but they were talking about.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to know. I loved it because that gave me a few extra seconds to try to price out some of this stuff that I'm looking at here. Hold on a second. So I mean, statistically, I like Lindholm at under 1.5 as at plus money. I do like that one, Elias Lindholm. All right, at plus money, I'll take that one. I'll chuck that one on as well. I'll chuck on Lindholm under 1.5 shots at plus money. I'll shop around for that as well. Let me see statistically what else like in here. Zucker a little bit on his shot prop. Yes, see, that's 1.5 also. Hold on one second. Sorry, Jim. I'm capping as we speak. Actually, I like Zucker over 1.5 shots at minus 146 or so. But all right, I guess I will. I guess I'll hold off and just do that for now. Hold on one second. Let me just see some of this stuff, like the Roman Josi shot. Roman Josi was a little bit banged up, right?
No, he's fine. He just took a few stitches, so he had to leave and get the stitches and come back. He's fine. He's fine, and he better step up because his power play has been atrocious.
Yeah, sorry. All right, let me just and then Quinn Hughes under 2.5 is looking a little bit tempting, but okay. I will just stick with those. I'll shop around for prices, and I will at the end of the show, I'll have my official final prices on all this shit.
I love it. So in review, I've already made 2 bets. I'm on the Bruins -1 and the Predators, and I'm going to add the Jets. I would like to get plus 110. I don't think I'm asking too much. I imagine that the public's going to be hammering the Avalanche, but it hasn't quite happened yet. And Ray D'Amico just got in with the Preds at plus 100. I can't wait to watch these hockey games. And I can't wait until round 2 of the playoffs as well. And I could understand the move on overtime in this game. I could understand that as well. I don't think I'm going to do it yet. But I've been taught, because we tracked Bobano's unders the draws this year. We tracked them very closely, and it down 0.8 units, so just tiniest little margin down. But I think that in the second and third round, I mean, when the Hurricanes play the Rangers, shouldn't we be on draw every single one of those games? I think there's a couple series where they're so talented and there's so much parity that we're going to want draws. And maybe this is one, but I wanted to wait. TJ saying Rangers Canes going to be insane series. It's going to be phenomenal. Rich H, loving what he's seeing from Vancouver. It's been great. It's been absolutely great. it's been great watching them do things that they've never been able to do. But that's it. So I'm going to add the Jets at some point here, and we'll see how it all bangs out. But Pete, we got to make moves here. We got to get into Major League Baseball.
Yes.
And get rolling. Are you ready to move on?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's do that. Let's welcome back our producer and star of Say Hey Plays of the Day, now up 20 units on the MLB season. Both of Peter Loshak, who is 22-9, up 11.3 units, ROI plus 28.8%, and Jose Bouquett are doing spectacularly well. And it's hugely important for all of us. So please welcome to the show from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101 and Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing great. I can't complain about how the start of the season's going. We keep having winning days. I can't remember the last losing day I've had now, and we're feeling good. Today's a tough card, admittedly. I only have 2 bets that I like, but it's nice to see everyone in the chat, and it's nice to see this momentum we're building. Obviously, we still have a long way to go, but it's nice to be up 20 units.
It is. And Pete also seen the board very well. You guys are both doing spectacular work. So let's keep it running. I'm the same with you. There was 2 bets that I really liked. I doubled up on them, first 3 and first 5, but that's about it for me. But there's a lot of opportunities out here in this one. So we're going to start with the double dip. We started 3:40 p.m. Eastern, game 1 of the doubleheader between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Detroit Tigers. These Cardinals 13-15, 8-8 on the road. At the Tigers 16-12, 6-8 at home, Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. We have Kyle Gibson going up against Jack Flaherty. Kyle Gibson's been very good the last 2 starts, and we've taken advantage of it. Coming off 5-1 win at home over Arizona, we were on them in that one. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks. He had a very tough start to the year, and he's really looked good. Jack Flaherty has at times looked good, but not enough. Not enough. A 4.91 ERA, but a 1.16 whip. He's got 36 strikeouts and 29 and a third. It was not a very good performance in his last start. 7-5 loss at Tampa. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, no walks. But neither of these teams can hit righties at all. They both have the same OPS, 652. The Cards are hitting 228, Tigers are hitting 220, and they both have very good bullpens. Tigers bullpen has been excellent all year. They've scuffled up a little bit in the last week or so, but 2.71 ERA, 1.05 whip, converted 10 of 16 save opportunities, while the Cards bullpen 3.49 ERA, 1.22 whip, converted 10 of 16 save opportunities. It's 71 Fahrenheit at first pitch in Detroit this afternoon. Beautiful. The wind is right to left, very slightly out, 13.4 miles per hour, gets up to 14.5 miles per hour. From a line history standpoint, the total, we're going to be using Pinnacle line moves. This total has moved to 9 at Pinnacle. They moved it to 9, 16 minutes ago. It's not a real 9. It's plus 106 to the over, minus 120 to the under, but they've gone up. That over 8.5 initially at Pinnacle was just minus 101 to the over. So it's a legitimate move to the over. And then on the money line, we're sitting here. Oh, how did I screw that up? Sorry. I have totals there twice. Sorry. On the money line, we're sitting here with Detroit at minus 119. They opened up at minus 119, but they got down to minus 108 there for a little bit and came right back up. So no movement on the money line and a slight move to the over. And then when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 15% of the tickets and 32% of the cash on the St. Louis Cardinals. That's appealing to me. 71% of the tickets and 80% of cash on the over. Well, Pinnacle's cared about that here. Primetime 99 says Tigers worse than Major League Baseball at home on the run line. And Troy Torrance's database says Cards here haven't moved yet, but want to. So here we go. This is the first game on the board. We will talk about the second part of this double header. But let's get started here. Jose Bouquett, take it away. Cardinals, Tigers, game 1.
Yeah, I lean Cardinals with everyone. But I just didn't have everything line up for me, unfortunately. So I passed in this game. Flaherty in a semi-revenge start. It's very interesting. Obviously his good years were with the Cardinals. I'm interested to see if he's got that fire in him to prove that he's still a good pitcher. And Gibson's coming off back-to-back really good starts. But that total skyrocketing up to a 9 now. That's very interesting. It seems like maybe a Cardinals team total is the play here, but I didn't have any action on this game. I didn't have pass, so I was interested though. But it's very the one thing that perks my interest about this specifically was Bovada has this at a -116, -114 for whatever reason, and all the other books have this above -120. Oh, actually, I just did a refresh, and Bovada now showing a -110 for the Tigers, excuse me, with 85% of the bets and 68% of the money on them. That definitely makes the Cardinals more appealing, truthfully, because I didn't have any much line movement. But yeah, go ahead.
What I don't understand is what didn't correlate for you.
See, well, earlier I didn't have the line movement. I had it still at -122, and I had Bovada as the only book showing that's going down. Now that it's moved towards the Cardinals here in a more dramatic fashion, that 10 cents, it definitely is more interesting because I like the Cardinals coming into it. I was just waiting to see and hoping the line was going to go somewhere or the other, and it's definitely gone my way. So I think I will end up moving on it.
I don't see why we wouldn't. I expect to move on it here. Peter, take it away. Cardinals, Tigers.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just capping as we're going here. Let me find my my stuff here. Yeah, I mean, Flaherty usually gives up a few, getting Ks though. I wanted to check the lineups first, so I have nothing really on this. I think Gibson has probably gotten a little bit lucky. Maybe not, but I think so. 3 decent starts, 2 subpar starts. I'm not sure this is a great spot where I want to fade him though, so I'm going to have to pass on this one.
See, I think those last 2 starts were really good starts, not decent starts, like very strong.
Oh, of course, yes.
But I don't know if he's going to have his 3rd straight strong start, but I do like this spot here, and I expect to move on it. Troy says, but do we go first 5? No, I like the Cards bullpen. I got no qualms.
Yeah, I'm on it full game plus 113.
Yeah, no, I'm going to join you.
And the bullpen's obviously rested.
And if this comes to fruition, let's talk about game 2 right now, because I didn't think Matt Manning was going to go. I didn't know why they weren't announcing him. It just seemed like it was clear that he.
Yeah, I didn't have a pitcher either, so I'm seeing.
Ramon has confirmed that it is Matt Manning, and Steven Matz. Look, I've done a lot of things wrong so far this season, but I told you guys that he was not even close to the pitcher he looked like in those first 3 starts. I mean, he's not a good pitcher. He's not going to be one of Cardinals' 5 starters in 3 months. And so I want to fade him badly. So it's going to be the perfect situation here. If we're right about the Cards winning game 1, to move on the Tigers game 2 with Matt Manning against Steven Matz. Yeah. And not only that, but to double up on it. First 5 and full game. Now that's if we're right. Even if we're wrong, I mean, I don't see why we don't attack Matz here. He's bad. He's just so bad. So that's going to be my plan here. I'm going to wait to see how game 1 goes, but I want to fade Steven Matz with everything that I can here. What are your thoughts here for this one, Jose?
Yeah, no, I'm right in lockstep with you. Especially because Matt Manning, is one of my guys that I like this year. It sucks that he only comes up for these double headers, but I believe in him. By the way, Detroit, if you looked full game or full season, you see their numbers against lefties. They're 24th, 83 weighted runs created plus. But if you just cut it down to the last 2 weeks, obviously saw small sample size, 63 at bats, but 148 weighted runs created plus against lefties. So they hit somebody. I don't know who it is off the top of my head. They hit some lefty really well recently. And Steven Matz is not a very good lefty, so I'll trust the Tigers here. Yeah, I want to see the Cardinals win game 1. Hopefully it's by blowout, and then the Tigers can save all their good bullpen arms for game 2. And then I will be for sure on Tigers full game. But right now it's Cardinals money line. And then I don't have a line yet for game 2 yet, but first 5 Tigers. And then we'll see if I end up moving on full game, depending on if the bullpens are still set.
Yeah, no, well put. I'm right with you on that. Pete, any interest? Do you have any script for
game 1?
No,
but I agree with the general fate of Matt's.
All right. I love it. Okay. So we're going to be going back to, we're going to flip who goes first each time. So we'll go back to Pete here. 6:35 p.m. Eastern with the New York Yankees 19-11, 11-6 on the road. Baltimore Orioles 18-10, 10-6 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Charm City, Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to our Vom Polo. Let's take a look at the weather there in Baltimore. 87 Fahrenheit, hot, beautiful. 8 miles per hour to right field. I can't wait till it's hot up here as well. Getting to the line history here for this one. On the total, we have Kramer versus Nasty Nestor Cortez. This total's at 9. It's minus 118 to the under. This opened up at 9, got up to 9.5. It spent a lot of time at 9.5, and then it started dropping, went down to 9, and then went down to 8.5. Now it's at 9, but it's kind of an 8.5. It's heavily juiced to the under. So at least at the number 9, we got a 17-cent move towards the under. And then from a money line standpoint here, we have a Kramer at plus 106. He opened up at plus 105. I have a bit of a problem because I watched Kramer's last start. It was 6-5 win of the Angels, but he had nasty stuff. He had 10 strikeouts. He looked really good, and I don't want that to mess me up here. Cortez coming off a strong start, 3-1 loss at home versus the A's, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, no walks, 3.50 ERA, 1 whip on the season. Kramer is not being that good this year. 4.61 ERA. He's allowed 6 home runs in 27 1/3. That's what's hurt him. The Yankees smash righties, 256, 778 OPS, and the Orioles smash lefties, 269, 798 OPS. But both bullpens have been very good, except for Kimbrel in the back end of that Orioles bullpen. They've converted just 8 of 15 save opportunities. Now, Yankees haven't been that much better, converting 13 of 15 save opportunities. Kelly McKinnon says, we should warm up here too. It snowed here last night, looking like a winter wonderland. I read that it was that Alberta was getting like 40 centimeters of snow, and I felt bad for you guys, man. Take it away here for us. Oh, let me just take a quick look at the cash flow here for this. We have 52% of the tickets, 58% cash on the under. Seen it moving there in that direction. 72% of the tickets and 87% of the cash on the Yankees, and it's not moving towards them. Take it away here, Pistol Pete Loshak, Yankees, Orioles.
Actually, can we have Jose do all the first takes on the game so that I can finalize my analysis?
Absolutely, take it away.
Yeah,
Jose.
thanks.
Yeah, I struggled with this one. I bet the Yankees yesterday, 2-0 game, whatever, that happens. But I did think the Yankees were going to come out in this series and try to show the Orioles that they're going to fight for this division as well. Famously, I've said that the Yankees are going to win this division and make the World Series this year. I wanted to back them here again, but I don't want to back Nestor Cortez. I think Nestor Cortez is just, kind of weak. Not a very convincing pitcher. I don't know. But I'll tell you, the pitching matchup does favor Cortez. The line, definitely indicates that this is a Cortez kind of spot. Very interestingly enough, you mentioned that all that money and tickets are on the Yankees there. And at least for those backing the Yankees, it's moved that direction. I had this opening up at minus 102 to the Yankees, and now all the way to minus 116. So, based off my flip theory, I should be on the Yankees here. I just don't trust Nestor Cortez. That's just when my guard up is always up with this guy. Now, I did look up batter versus pitchers because I saw a bunch of people dropping some Judge props in here and 400 batting average, 3 home runs and 4 hits off of them, 10 at bats. So that's obviously why. And then Mike Stanton, excuse me. 5 hits, 14 at plate appearances. No extra base hits for him, but we'll see. So, and then Nestor dominates 4-0 against the Orioles, career 1.99 ERA against them. Last year, he had some struggles, but we kind of know he was hurt. The year before, he was 2-0 against them. 3 starts, did not give up a run against them all year. Now, if you're going to look at props, Adley Rutschman's hitting 500 off of him in 12 at-bats. So, look that way. But, I think this is a Yankees spot. And I'm glad I could talk this out with everyone, but I think I'm going to end up being back on the Yankees again.
Taint play today is in. Also, Peter, we have our guy Chang Kim in the house saying, what is your top play? Can you bless me? We'll do that, Chang, but I'd love it if we could wait till the end of the show so that we've sat with everything and marinated with everything, if you don't mind. So if you need, because I know you're probably working, so if you just want to later, because I have it on the top of my worksheet, so we'll close the show with our best picks here. Mighty Ice's Cortez 41% K rate versus Baltimore. Troy Torrance says Kimball is trash. We also had that very important note here from Kent Davies, our guy Kent Davies, talking about how the bullpen is very thin right now. Andrew G in the house, great to see you. So, Peter, what are your thoughts here? Orioles, Yankees.
Well, first of all, I know I don't like to do it, coming off a 10 strikeout performance, but I will take Kramer over 4.5 strikeouts minus 114 at Bet Online. If it loses, that's all right, but I think he's a decent bet to get 5. And I'm kind of liking, I don't know, I'm leaning over. I'm thinking about maybe the first 3 over or first 5 over maybe, or running the first at, just minus 114 or something like that. I think that I'm kind of liking, early overs.
I'm copying and pasting BJ's leans as well. Eric Rosas in the house says over this game feels like an over. Yanks have bats have been roasting lately. I don't want to get involved. I lean towards the Orioles, but that line move will get me off. So I'm comfortably
okay. And actually, I will take run in the first. Yes, minus 104 at Pinnacle.
Okay, so we have.
I'll shop around, see if I can get better somewhere else, but yeah.
So Loshak is on run in first at minus 104, and he's on over 4.5 Ks from Kramer. What was the juice on that?
Minus 114.
Minus 114. We got Razor Sharp picks in the house. Great to see you, Razor, giving us his entire Churchill card, Churchill Downs on Tuesday. And we're going to be hammering Churchill all week. As I said off the top, Friday after the show here, I'm going to rush right over to the Razor Sharp picks channel for Kentucky Oaks Day. And then Saturday, we're doing it right here all day Saturday, starting at 10:15 a.m. Razor and I will be hosting the Kentucky Derby special with a whole bunch of great characters, a bunch of cappers we haven't got a chance to cap the full card together in a while, so I can't wait. Can't wait. And shout out to Razor. Thank you for sharing your whole Churchill Downs card. I've got that copied and pasted. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us here, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, we have the Colorado Rockies at the Miami Marlins. We have these Rockies 2-11 on the road this year, at the Marlins 2-15 at home, but somebody has to win this baseball game. Let's get into the line history here. This total is sitting at 8 at a pick'em right now, 8 minus 106 each way. This opened up at 7.5. It had got up to 8 and then back to 7.5 at one point, but now it's back at 8 at a pick'em. So we've moved to the over. Then on the money line here, we have these Colorado Rockies sitting at plus 123. They are now 124, which is exactly where they opened. So no movement. When we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 78% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the Marlins. So Rockies sitting with 22 and 32. 95% of tickets, 96% cash on the over. A lot of money on that over. And there's Christopher Ing in the house. Says we'll join you on Fridays, Razor Show, and Saturday on Pub. Can't wait. Christopher Ing, I love capping horses with you, man. I love every time we talk about horses, you jump into the chat too. It's respect, Chris. I can't wait for this weekend. I can't wait to hammer horses. And you make it more fun, Chris. Just jumping in every time we talk about horses. I love it. Ryan Feltner, 1-2, 5.68 ERA, 1.74 WHIP. He's allowed 4 jacks over 25 in the third, 30 strikeouts. His last start, 7-4 win at home over the Padres. He didn't look very good. He got through 4 innings, allowed 10 hits. He was pretty fortunate. Only 4 runs were scored against him. Going up against Sixto Sanchez, who I don't know how anybody can have any faith in him right now. He's throwing 10 innings, 6 Ks and 4 walks, 1.70 ERA, 7.20 WHIP. The Marlins are hitting 230, 637 OPS versus righties. Rockies much better, 244, 689. Matty Ice says 2 shit pitchers, 2 shit bullpens, and we have a total of 8. Rockies bullpen so bad, 5.26 ERA, 1.58 WHIP. They've converted 3 of just 5 save opportunities. Well, the Marlins bullpen is just as bad, 5 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, converted 4 of 12 save opportunities. So Bag Back says Rockies Feltner should come to life in Colorado. Smack him. I almost stopped studying after I looked at these pitchers. Take it away for us here, Jose. Is this a spot where we back the Colorado Rockies?
Yeah, I've had issues with this matchup, I guess. Sixtos was put out late, and he goes maybe 2-3 innings. We'll see. Ryan Feltner has been up and down. But I did bet on the Nationals, and I think 3 of the 4 games against the Marlins. The Marlins are just really, really bad, and I would probably fade them here yet again with Ryan Feltner and the Rockies. I just don't want my money being on this game. There is another matchup series, whatever you want to call it, that I think the wrong team is favored in. This is one of them. I just don't want to make this bet here with the Rockies here. It's just not a team I trust enough. Not a good enough bad team.
I think that's fair. What do you think about this spot, Peter?
Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I mean, it's certainly interesting. There's probably some value somewhere, and I might see it or tail someone else seeing it. You know, when you have 2 bad teams like this with shitty pitchers and what everyone's been talking about, those are a lot of times, places that do have, market has a harder time pricing that at sometimes. So I could see there being a great bet here or a very good one, but for me, pass as of right now.
My dude says Sixto Sanchez over 1.5 walks at plus 160. That's an interesting way of handling it, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Mikey Money in the house. Great to see you, my guy. So let's move on to Kansas City Royals, 17-13, 5-8 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 15-15, 8-5 at home. Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. The roof will be closed. Cole Ragans, Jose Barrios. These two just met each other 5 days earlier in that rain-shortened game at Kansas City. In that one, Royals were up 2-1 after 5. Barrios allowed that early 2-run jack and then shut the Royals down, and the Jays only got 1 back. Ragans, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks, 3 walks, and that 2-1 5-inning win. Barrios allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, 1 K, 3 walks, but he's been very good this year. And I know a lot of people want to back Cole Ragans game in and game out. Barrios, 1.23 ERA, 1.04 whip, 20 Ks, 12 walks, and 3 homers. The Royals are not hitting righties, 239, 710. The Jays' offense is so bad, but they've been decent against lefties, 247, 722 OPS, much better against lefties than they are against righties. Royals bullpen, 3.53 ERA, 1.39 whip, converted 8 of 11 save opportunities. I'm telling you, watch this Jays bullpen become top 12 in the league. I've been saying it over and over again. 4.68 ERA, 1.33 whip. They've converted 9 of 10 save opportunities. They have the pieces. Wine Time Sports in the house. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We'll start with the money line. Barrios and the Jays are at minus 134 at Pinnacle. Now minus 127. Wow. So since the start of the show, there's been a move towards the Kansas City Royals. 9 cents of movement there. The Royals have gone from plus 126 to plus 117. That's, dangerous if you like the Jays. This total at 8 minus 115 to the under. It just got back to 7.5. Just went back to 7.5 10 minutes ago. So opened up 7.5, got up to 8. Now it's back at 7.5. But it's quite heavily juiced, not ridiculously heavily juiced, but minus 115 to the over, 7.5 plus 102 to the under. And Markel liking the Royals here. So let's take a look at the cash flow, see if that all correlates with this move towards these Kansas City Royals. For the total, you have 93% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the over. Wow. I don't know why that would be other than the fact that they just saw these pictures 5 days ago. I mean, that's the only thing that it's surprising. 84% of tickets and 91% of cash on the Blue Jays. And this line is moving to the Royals. I mean, I guess. Will Reza says we have to take the Jays the way they've been hitting lefties, in his opinion. Miss Letty says, what are those numbers, Razor Sharp picks? Those are the horses that he is using on the Churchill Downs horse racing card. So that just so you, the 1, 3, and 6 are the horses he's using in race 1. 1, 2, and 6 are the horses racing in using in race 2, and so on throughout the card. Real Deal Prime says Brio solid. Rocco Rogers adding last goal scorers Aho and Gensel. Take it away here, Jose. I mean, is this with this market move with all the money on the Jays? Is this just bet the Royals immediately?
I'm kind of struggling with this one too. Like I said, I thought today was a little bit of a difficult card. I'm not seeing much movement, which is the thing that I always, try to look at here. I had this opening up at minus 133, and you really not. It went up to minus 140 at one point, and this is bet online, obviously. Down to minus 127, back up to 33. Bovada opened this up at a minus 142. Actually, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. there. Excuse me. The Bovada opened this up at a minus 144. There we go. So there's some movement. It's now down to minus 133. Yeah, I'd probably lean Royals here, but I don't want any action on this game either. The back-to-back situation always scares me. And obviously, it was a weird game because they only played 5 innings of that game. It was a rained out game, so who knows what would have happened. I tend to stay off. I lean over, though. I probably agree with the overlooks just because of the back-to-back. I might tend to think that they go zigzag in those kind of situations. So no action, but I lean over and I lean Royals too.
Yeah. Let's see what Pete has to say about this one. It's
All right. Well, I'll definitely make official. Barrios over 4.5 strikeouts minus 161. That's at Heritage. Barrios over 4.5 strikeouts minus 161. That's at Heritage. And I was also leaning over a bit, and I was also leaning Toronto for the Troy Torrances of the chat, kind of saying that they liked KC in one way or another, because I was leaning Toronto. Obviously, there has been a move towards KC.
Yeah.
What are all Troy Torrance types in the chat saying?
I do not want to be involved here. Bo Jackson, who knows this Toronto team inside and out, is on the Royals money line here. Troy saying that the under correlates with the Toronto Blue Jays in this spot, but I do not find this appealing here. He says, pretty sure this low total corresponds with the Jays regardless of market movement.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to stay off of this one, unfortunately. But Loshak on Barrios over 4.5 Ks. Is there anything else you want to add? Pete?
No, but I really kind of like Toronto here, despite the fact that the line has moved kind of in the opposite direction. A little bit, just not that much, right?
It's a dangerous move. It's a move that's going to take me off of it.
Okay, I'll just stick with Barrios then.
Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. This is my first double up. I got 2 double ups on the card here, and I'm back to believing that there is just low hanging fruit in baseball. I mean, that's where that term came from with Pete, 6 years ago in Costa Rica, and I think this is it. I think this is low hanging fruit with the Chicago Cubs here. Now, should I have been concerned that they, were dogs against Sean Manaea? I mean, I wasn't concerned the last week when I thought we were dealing with low-hanging fruit in the Cubs very easily. I'm on the Cubs first 3 at plus 100. That was at bet 365, and first 5 at plus 112. So I have doubled up here on these Chicago Cubs. Right now, the Cubs are sitting full game at plus 110. They opened up at plus 121. Wow. So we've had a good sized move towards them. This went down to plus 106. I like seeing all that. So, but at this point, there's been 10 cents of movement towards the Chicago Cubs. That makes sense to me. From a total side of things here, we're dealing with a 7. The 7 opened up at 8, so we've dropped a full run. Now it's pretty juiced to the over at minus 116, but that's a big move to the under. And Kent Davis has low-hanging, bulbous, juicy fruit. Let's go into the cash flow here. From a cash flow standpoint, we have 22% of the tickets and 61% of the cash. That threw me for a loop. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that 78% of the tickets are going to back Sean Manaea despite him having a good start to the season. We know who he really is. 63% of tickets and 59% cash on the over, and it's dropped down. This huge move to the under does make me a little uncomfortable. But I'm not on a -0.5 on either of them, so I'm fine with it. Javier Assad coming off that 3-1 win at home versus the Astros. Mets are hitting 234, 682 OPS versus righties. I mean, this is going to be an easier spot for him. He pitched well in that spot. 5 2/3, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 1 walk. Manaea coming off that nice start in the 8-2 win at the Giants. Look, we were on Manaea, which was a very hard thing to do, but the market told us that the Mets were going to go into San Francisco and beat them on that day with Manaea on the hill. And he's got 27 Ks and 24 1/3. He still has 14 walks. He's coming off that 8-2 win in 6 Ks and 4 walks. I mean, he didn't get the win. He didn't make it to 5 innings. And the Cubs are hitting 281 with an 847 OPS versus lefties. I mean, the Cubs smashed lefties. Now, the bullpen, I think there's a big advantage with the Mets bullpen. 2.87 ERA, 1.13 whip, converted 7 of 10. Cubs bullpen, 4.62 ERA, 1.41 whip, converted 9 of 15. So I just want the Cubs early, and I want them often. Take it away, Jose, your plan for Cubbies Mets.
Yeah, this was the one of the two spots that I looked at as well and liked early. I like the Cubs here. I'll take them full game. Sure, the Mets bullpen has been good, but it really doesn't scare me all that much, if I'm going to be honest. Like I said, I know their numbers have been great this year to start off, but I still don't feel like the game's over when they're in, basically. And Cubs, obviously, their bullpen. Hector Neris is their closer now. He threw 24 pitches last night, so I don't expect him to go. Mark Leiter threw 8 last night, and he threw 15 on Sunday, so I don't expect him to go again today. And they're their 1-2 in the back end, so that'll be obviously a little concern when it comes down to it, but I'll believe in the Cubs here. I've had this thing of betting full games over first 5 just because I'm looking at the full game line movements. I looked at the first 5 and I saw a couple of cents, not that much. We'll double check here now. It opened up at minus 126 and now minus 120. So few cents of movement. But yeah, I'll stick to full game here. The bigger move there. And, like you said, all those tickets are on the Mets for whatever reason, but sharp money on the Cubs. So I'll take the Cubs here, full game money line.
Well, it screwed me last night. It made me so angry with the Angels. It was my only bet in baseball. Angels first 5, and of course they come for a full game. 98% of the cash was on the Philadelphia Phillies, and the line wasn't moving. And I was so angry. So I get why you're taking the full game here. What's the line you got on the full game?
That's a great question. I got plus 110.
Plus 110 for Jose on the Cubs full game. Take it away, Pete. Citi Field in Queens, baby.
Yeah, well, I kind of agree with you. First of all, I will take Sean Manaea under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 166 at Caesars. Other places have like that same line. Other places have like 4.5 at plus money. I should probably take the 4.5 plus money, but you know me. So I'll take the Caesars line under 5.5, minus 166 at Caesars. And I agree with you. Assad has done better than I expected him to do. When he first came up, I thought he was a gritty guy with good character, but limited stuff based on, just the bullshit that I read and, all the analysts and the analytics and the advanced stuff. But he's been quite impressive, and whatever he's doing, I think is for real. He might be getting a little bit hit lucky. He gives up a lot of fly balls, but some people outperform their analytics. Kyle Hendricks was one of those people for a while, and Assad might be outperform their stuff. And Assad might have a similar situation there. So I would agree with you. I'll definitely take Manaea under strikeouts. And I agree with you. I'd be leaning Chicago at the very least early, full game, first 3, first 5, whatever. Yeah.
That is what I did. First 3 and first 5. Noli Nose says Assad was great in long relief. Glad he got his shot to start. Noli Nose was all over the Javier Assad train.
Yeah,
Assad,
very nice.
The real deal out of Tijuana, Mexico. He's the real deal, man. He's I like it. Noli No says Pete looking classy. Pete is 70 and 35 in that jacket. Jose, 70 and 35, up 35 units. That's why it's not coming off.
No,
that's right.
I've seen people
and where's Nasty Nate been? Nasty Nate. I didn't mean to. Just because Nasty Nate was dead wrong about his take on this jacket doesn't mean I don't want him in the shows. Nasty Nate, where are you at? I'll send you a text, baby. Nasty Nate.
Damn. By the way, make that 2 times Pete has called someone baby on this episode. 2 times.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll see it. I check out lingo. I don't give a fuck. 2024, just say whatever the fuck you want. It's all over, baby.
Mr. Heat says the first 3 lines.
Shave that jacket, Pete. No, I mean that. Look, no one's perfect. Nasty Nate is right, like 85% of the time. His take on this jacket was one of the 15% that he's wrong. I mean, I'm wrong way more than 50%. Nasty Nate, baby. Come to New York. Let's hang out sometime, baby.
And Mr. Heat says there's been a big move against the Cubs first 3 line now plus 114 at DraftKings. Wow. Huh. Surprised. Okay, we'll deal with the consequences that may come. It's been bet, so it is what it is. Let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up for us, San Francisco Giants 14-15, 5-8 on the road. The Boston Red Sox 16-13, 5-8 at home. By the way, I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't mention the weather in Citi Field. It's 58 Fahrenheit, 9.5 miles per hour in, stays between 9.5 and 7.8 miles per hour. So here in Boston, talk about what it's like in Fenway here. It is 46 Fahrenheit. It's cold, 9 miles per hour in. 46 Fahrenheit, 9.6 dies down to 8.1 at the lowest here. We have Logan Webb going up against Cooper Criswell. Are we going to be backing here Logan Webb again after he's looked so good over these last 3 starts? Now, I know the last 2 have come at home. I did not back him last start, and it was much to my chagrin. And I don't know what we do exactly with Cooper Criswell. Coming off that 8-0 win at the Guardians, he looked very good. 5 innings, 3 Ks, no walks. The Giants don't hit righties, 242, 698. So the Red Sox, even with their meek sticks, they're hitting righties better than the Giants, 257, 38. The big advantage is the Red Sox bullpen, 3.53 ERA, 1.24 whip. Do we just start backing Logan Webb outside of Oracle now? Because that's what I wanted to hear from you guys. I wasn't sure.
The market's saying so.
And why wouldn't it be? I mean, he looked lights out. Here we go. This total is sitting at 8. It opened up plus 102 to the under. It's now minus 106 to the under. So we have 8 cents of movement towards the under. When we get to the money line here, how's this? Did I screw this up again? Sorry, I got to get back to both of these things on totals. We get to the money line. Take me 1 second. I apologize. Get over to.
And here we go. Bo Jackson saying Pete looking like the Burger King mascot with that jacket. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I'll take that.
Nice.
I'll take it. I consider that a compliment.
Yeah, sure.
I
Why
consider
not?
that a compliment.
Sure. Here we have Criswell at plus 118. Open up at plus 112. So the Giants have gone from minus 121 to minus 127 at Pinnacle, 6 cents of movement. And then when we get to the cash flow, 57% of tickets, 70% of cash on the over. On the money line, 31% of tickets and 80% of cash on the Boston Red Sox.
Funny, because this line opened up at minus 115 for me and is up to minus 130 in some places.
Yes, and I still not sure. Like, I love that you're talking about the bet online, but I mean the lines that open a bet online with limits aren't as important to me as the ones 4 or 5 hours later or 4 hours later from Pinnacle without limits. But I hear what you're saying. It is important information. So take it away here, Jose. Giants, Red Sox.
Yeah, I definitely lean Giants with that line movement there. Red Sox kind of feeling good about themselves after taking the Cubs and winning that series. The Logan Webb is just really, really good. Now, obviously, I like to fade the Red Sox against lefties because I've been saying all year they're going to be horrific against lefties. Logan Webb is arguably the best pitcher in baseball. I could say he's probably the favorite to win the Cy Young.
Jesus,
But
what, really?
Yeah, I would probably say he is. I think he's amazing.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, Barrios.
The dude has 46 ground balls, 17 fly balls in his last 3 starts.
He's a sicko. He's not going to have the strikeout numbers, but he's going to get everyone to ground ball themselves to death. But, Barrios is up there right now currently. So shout out to him, but they're in different leagues, so whatever. But I'll mention this year he still has an 0.82 home ERA and a 4.32 road ERA. Career-wise, it's still 2.64 and a 4.08. So we'll just make those notes of it. He has pitched well on the road this year once, but it was against the Tampa Bay Rays, who suck. The other one was the Dodgers, and the other one was the Padres, who have seen him a lot. I just think the Red Sox not seeing this guy much will lead them to struggling here. So I believe in Giants for sure.
And Logan Webb 9-1 to win the NL Cy Young. Zach Wheeler 4-1. Glass now 4.5-1. But Logan Webb is the third choice. I wouldn't even have thought that. Take it away here, Peter Loshak, Giants, Red Sox.
It might be a sucker. I mean, Webb is friggin' awesome, but he's definitely a half notch at least less awesome on the road, which doesn't mean he's not awesome. It just means he's a half notch less awesome. I kind of like the under here and the first 5 under. I might get, any bet you might, lose, and then you're like, what happened? I don't really know what happened, but I think that Webb is going to be okay here. I mean, very good here. I think Criswell should be all right. And so I'm leaning unders. I have to decide what I want to do. Maybe first 5 or first 3, maybe both. But yeah, I like. I think Again, yeah, Webb could blow up, but I think it's more likely to not happen.
57% of tickets, 70% cash on the under.
Pete, I'll join you.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
I got to decide which way I want to go, though.
I'll take full game under. And Pete, by the way, Jimmy, who's number one on that Cy Young list again?
Zach Wheeler. This is just National League.
Yeah.
Wheeler 4-1. Glass now 4.5-1. Logan Webb 9-1.
Cool. Yeah. No, I think it's really good. Yeah, was the point of all that. But yeah, I'll join you on the under there, Pete. Full game. More money on bets on the over, and the line still dropped down, so makes me feel better about it.
Why would bets be coming in on the over? I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, why?
I thought it would be 7.5, and I'd be liking it anyway, despite the move.
Why would bets be coming in on the over?
Well, Pete, I'm sure you love it that everyone's betting the over, and it's still dropped down to an 8.
And Morgan Spooner says this is an over spot for him.
Under 8 minus 110 for me.
Jose moving on the under 8 at minus 110. Yeah, I think because of that, Troy Torrance says because Giants are 10-3 to the over on the road. Morgan says the Red Sox are due to regress to the mean and hit better at home. Right now the Giants have the worst bullpen in the league, but it's been working what Jose's doing, focusing on full games and not the first fives. So I look, it's working. So stick to it. I can't double up though on this. This would have to be either a first 3 or a first 5. So I'm going to go first 3 or a first 5. And Pete, what did you decide? First 5 or 3? Or are you still thinking about it?
Yeah, this is a little bit tougher. I want to take the full game. It makes a lot of sense. Full game. I will take full game. I'll take the full game under 8. I'll shop around, and I do kind of want to double up. First 3 or first 5. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. I guess I'll take first 5. I'll double up. What the hell? I'll quote the numbers pretty soon.
Troy is right. The totals are not usually this low in Fenway Park. So that's also a big, it's definitely, everyone considers a very hitter-friendly park, but it definitely helps that Logan Webb's a ground ball guy. Ball's not going up in Fenway.
It's cold, too. It's cold, wind blowing in. I'm just going to be on the first 5 under. But what did you get, Pete, for first 5 under?
I got the Pinnacle lines under 8 minus 106 and first 5 under 4 minus 103. I'll shop around a little bit. That's probably going to be what I wind up having.
All right. And Jose on the full game under. And I think I'm going to go on the first 5 instead of the first 3. But I'm going to make that decision later. I'm not going to be on both. Troy Torrance says he might bet both teams' team total unders. BJ says it's under a pass books, begging for over money from what he's seeing. He says low for a reason. And we roll on. Okay, we roll on. Next up, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, we have the Minnesota Twins 15-13, 9-7 on the road at the Chicago White Sox 6-23, 5-10 at home at Guaranteed Rate Field, Chicago, Illinois. Let's get into the weather here in Illinois. 71 Fahrenheit, 7.6 miles per hour right to left. Much, much warmer in Illinois than in Massachusetts today. Let's get into the, what was that again? Sorry, let me see that again. 7.6 right to left down to 6.3. After an hour, it starts blowing in, but it doesn't start blowing in. From a money line standpoint here, we are dealing with these Chicago White Sox at plus 153. They opened up at plus 147. So from the other side of it, the Twins have gone from minus 160 to minus 169, 9 cents of movement towards them. From a total standpoint here, we have this sitting at 8.5 minus 104 to the under. Open up at 9. It's dropped a half run to 8.5. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 72% of tickets and 82% of cash on the over. And it's dropped from 9 to 8.5. That's a very, very, very interesting move. And then on the money line here, 88% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. We have Simeon Woods Richardson, 1-0, 2.45 ERA, 1 whip, 11 innings, 11 Ks, 2 walks, hasn't allowed a jack yet. And he just pitched against this White Sox team. And these pitchers just pitched against each other. And it was a 6-3 win for the Twins. Simeon Woods Richardson threw 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk Soroka, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 homers. They were solo shots, 1K, 2 walks in that 6-3 loss. The Twins are hitting 280, 690 OPS against righties. We talked about their numbers skyrocketing, and that's what's happened. The White Sox still 214, 603 OPS. The White Sox bullpen has been lucky. They're going to be a bottom 5 bullpen in the league, within a month, I'd say, within 6 weeks at least, or at most. And then Twins bullpen 2.54 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. They've been so good this year, converted 8 of 11 save opportunities. Morgan Spooner says the White Sox have to win 55 games this year. Why isn't this one of them? Take it away here for us, Jose Bouquett, where we have the White Sox at home at Guaranteed Rate Field.
Here we go. I'm going to be on the under, Jimmy. You say those magic words that always pique my interest. All the money on the over, and the line still drops down a half run. Now, admittedly, when you look at this game for me, it's over. Like it's a back-to-back with 2 pitchers that, aren't that great, and they both pitched pretty well last time out. So like I always say, zigzag theory tends to think that these guys get kind of touched up a little bit. But I'll put my faith in the gambling gods here. I'll put my faith in the market lords here that, if we're getting 70% of the money and bets on one side and we're making it more appealing to bet that side, I'll gladly take the other side whenever it is. So under here, I got it at minus 105 for 8.5. Yes, 8.5.
I get it. I don't know if I have the balls to do it, but I certainly understand it. I mean, when you're seeing the board so clearly right now, which obviously gives you extra confidence to go up against some of these looks with Woods, Richardson, Soroka seeing the lineup second time here in 5 days. What do you think, Pete? Take it away. Twins, White Sox.
Yeah, this is a tough one. The last time they matched up, again, I have a lot of losers, but the last one I matched up, I nailed both the strikeout props. I had Woods, Richardson over and Soroka under, and both of those cashed. Soroka has some real issues. I don't want to, but my numbers indicate full game at the current line lean White Sox, and they also lean under at 9. So yeah, I would be leaning under, leaning White Sox, and maybe a live bet on the White Sox after Soroka comes out if he gets touched a bit, which he probably will. That might not be a bad idea. If Woods Richardson is like solid again, Soroka gets touched again. Soroka's worse than he was last time out. I mean, Soroka's just if I was going to bet the White Sox, I would probably just wait and bet him live. And if Soroka's out of nowhere good and they're up when he's out, then just pass on the game.
Yeah, it is. Keep the Cartel says the series is going to be a sweep. Don't jump in front of a running train. Twins minus 1.5.
Is that running train the White Sox? Did they not just sweep someone? Shout out to the White Sox. They're hot.
They're so hot. All right, let's move on. Storage Club saying Twins minus 1.5. Easy money. Brent Cook also on the Twinkies. I'm off that one. Let's roll on. Head over to American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tampa Bay Rays 14-16, 6-7 on the road against these Brewers 17-11, 5-7 at home. We have Tyler Alexander. The one thing the Brewers are unable to do this year is hit lefties. Everything else, they're showing out. But here against lefties, 179, 582 OPS. Can journeyman Tyler Alexander shut them down? 4.74 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. He's allowed 5 jacks through 24 2/3, coming off a 7-5 win at home versus Detroit. 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 4 Ks, and 1 walk. Going up against Freddie Peralta, who did not look good in that 7-5 loss at the Pirates. That was the game here that Jose live bet. The Brewers at plus 200, while I took that live under at 9.5, and he was very successful in this live bet, and I watched Aroldis Chapman give it up to Gary Sanchez and screw me while providing Jose with more cash for his bankroll, which was a silver lining. Peralta, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 5 walks. He did not look good. Is this the bounce back spot for him? Because the Rays don't hit righties, 243, 680, not as bad as the Brewers versus lefties. The Rays bullpen still struggling. The Rays struggling. 5.15 ERA, 1.43 WHIP, converted 9-17. Brewers bullpen 3.83 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, converted 10-14. They've been very strong. Let's get into the line history here and hand it over to Jose Bouquett for this one. This total sitting at 7.5, minus 108 to the under. Open up minus 105 to the under with 3 cents of movement. towards that under. And on the money line, we have Freddie Peralta and the Brew Crew sitting at minus 169. They opened up at minus 142. 27 cents of movement towards the Milwaukee Brewers team that can't hit lefties. It's wild. 82% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on the Brew Crew. Market moving towards them briskly. We have 67% tickets, 66% cash on the over. Take it away, Jose. What do you think of this monster market move towards these Milwaukee Brewers?
Yeah, this has cash cow written all over it. I'm sure Troy needs it to get to like minus 180 or whatever it is to get to that range, but this is definitely very cash cow adjacent. I like the Brewers to win this game. I probably take them in a money line parlay like we've been doing throughout this year, but I probably am not going to bet on it individually. Freddie Peralta, by the way, though he's pitched kind of rough in some games, undefeated still in the season. Still has every time he's pitched, he has won or his team has won. So respect. I think the Rays are one of the worst teams in baseball this year. So it'd be Brewers or nothing for me. But it's nothing as of now. When Troy throws that cow emoji in the chat for this game, hopefully I'll be on the Brewers in a money line parlay, but otherwise nothing for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge market move. Maybe they're saying Peralta bounces back, and this is too easy here. Take it away, Peter Loshak. Anything interest you here?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take. I like the spot for Peralta. I don't necessarily love the over 7 strikeouts at plus money, but I think I am going to add. I think it's a good bet that Peralta goes 6 innings. So I think I'm going to chuck that one on there. Pinnacle has over 17.5 outs for Peralta at minus 140. I'll make that official, and I'm going to shop around a little bit as well. I also kind of like the Alexander over 3.5 strikeouts as well. Yeah. Milwaukee has struggled against lefties. They sure have, haven't they? They sure have, Jim, haven't they?
Oh, it's an enormous struggle right now. It's hard to imagine a team that's 17-11 could be struggling in one statistical aspect quite as badly as they are, but it doesn't seem to be concerning the market at all. I mean, they're throwing cash at them. BJ asked what the market is once more. 67% of tickets, 66% cash on the over. And on the money line right now, we have 82% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on the Milwaukee Brewers, and we've seen a 27-cent move at Pinnacle. And
all right, I will. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day. Tampa Bay in the over 7.5 at plus 340. Look at Mikey Money's action: 10-8 plus 8.25 units with an average line plus 198. I love the way that man gambles. Mikey Money in the house, star of Last Call, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. right here. What do you think, Pete?
Wait, he likes what? Tampa Bay in the over?
Yeah.
So he likes Peralta to struggle again, huh?
I mean, when the total is 7.5, you don't necessarily need to struggle to get to that spot. But yeah. Not bounce back. Let's say that.
All right. There's reasons not to like these, but I'll take a shot with them. Peralta over 17.5 outs minus 140, and I will take Alexander over 3.5 strikeouts minus 169. That's at Caesars. I'll shop around a little bit. I do feel a little bit nervous though now. Mikey M. Where's Mikey M? Let me see this for myself.
Over
Tampa Bay and over.
Ks? What was the juice on the 3.5 Ks, Pete?
Minus 169. But I'm shopping around to get better if I can somewhere.
Okay.
Eat my cock. Eat my cock, asshole.
8:05 p.m. Eastern. We have the Washington Nationals 14-14, 10-6 on the road. At the Texas Rangers 15-14, 8-8 home. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We do have 82 Fahrenheit at first pitch, which means if it's not in between 65 and 80, that the roof is closed at first pitch. So it's hard to imagine that sounds like perfect baseball weather, but the roof should be closed here. We have Mackenzie Gore going up against John Gray. They say it's a black and white thing. So if it's a black and white thing, that roof is closed.
Well, yeah, Jimmy, the issue is there's too many fat people here. They'll just start smelting in the stands. So
even at 82 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, you fat sweats, man. Fat sweats.
Interesting. Wine Time says Washington, Texas under 8.5 minus 120. I wouldn't know because I'm down 18 pounds.
Look at
18
you.
pounds since I started working out. Yeah.
You hear that, Pete?
18
When are you gonna get in the
pounds.
gym?
Oh,
Get in
he's
the gym right now, asshole.
He's in
All
the
right,
gym.
I got some better line. Peralta over 17.5 outs minus 132 Heritage, and Alexander over 3.5 strikeouts minus 167 Heritage. But we'll review all that later on, Jose. I mean, Jimmy the Bag, just to make sure.
Nice,
Yeah, not
nice.
bad.
Taking 2 cents off of
167.
that juice there down to minus 167. Okay, so, yeah.
Hey, Pete, you know what? You're beating the allegation.
Yeah, guy's getting real lippy over there.
Well, he's up over 20 units right now, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 71% or whatever Pete's hitting in baseball. So
I hear you. All right, let's move on.
Mackenzie Gore going up against John Gray. The Rangers don't hit lefties. Now, they hit lefties better than the Brewers, 241, 686 OPS. Nationals versus righties, 247, 719 OPS. We've heard from a couple different cappers that Jose has been lecheing these Washington Nationals over and over again, and being a big part of his success. Mackenzie Gore coming off a 2-1 loss at home versus the Dodgers. He was great. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 4 Ks and 2 walks, 3.12 ERA, 1.38 whip. 31 Ks in 26 innings. He only allowed 2 jacks in those 26 innings. John Gray coming off a nice start where he was used out of the bullpen in the previous appearance. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 1 walk, the 5-1 win at home versus the Mariners. Both bullpens are middling. Nationals bullpen right now has been actually pretty good, but they've been very lucky. Balls have been barreled up and hit directly at players. They're going to fall off. Whereas the Rangers bullpen's probably been a little better than their numbers indicate. 4 ERA, 1.22 whip. Let's get into the line history here for this one. From a line history standpoint, we have these Texas Rangers sitting at minus 142 right now. Open up minus 145, so a very, very, very slight move towards your Washington Nationals. From a total side of things here, we have an 8 at minus 106. This was a 9. We're down a full run here on the total. Wow, full run here. There's Truth Teller in the house. Wow. Full run to the under. 83% of the tickets and 93% of the cash is on Texas Rangers.
Yep.
Wow. 92% of the tickets and 89% cash on the over, and it drops a full run. Jesus. Jose, how do you make sense of these market moves, and are you going to play along?
Yeah, this was the other game that I was interested in, Jimmy. Nationals have been treating me nice. It was kind of just stupid by the books, making the Marlins favored against the Nationals in all those games. It was just dumb. We just kept betting the Nationals. We won. That was lovely. They're feeling good about themselves here, is what we're saying. Mackenzie Gore, good pitcher. I really like the Nationals here, guys. I really do. Again, now that market move towards them, I wish it was more. It would make me feel better. Again, Bovada opened this, Bet Online opened this at minus 150, now minus 142. Bovada opened this at minus 155, now down to minus 149. Again, with 83% of the bets, 93% of the money on them. I feel like if maybe it gets boring in me saying this again and again, but it's led to money. I don't know why these books keep making the side with more money in bets more appealing to bet. Besides the fact they want your money, and we will not be giving them our money on that side. So I'm taking Nationals here, and I didn't, I guess, do enough research on the total here, Jimmy, or didn't see this line movement down.
Huge move.
I'll jump on. I'll jump on a board here, and I would love to get an 8.5. Let me see if I am. I'm getting an 8.5 minus 120. So I'm on Nationals full game money line plus 131. And under 8.5 minus 120 for me in this game.
Under 8.5 at minus 120. What was your money line on the Nats?
131.
Wow. What the hell do I do here? Okay, take it away, Pistol Pete Loshak. We also got the ribeye play today from our guy Mikey Money, Monsieur Money. We have Nate Lau plus 210. The ribeye play day 5 and 3 plus 6.1 units, average line plus 200. Mikey Money getting that cash. Pistol Pete, what do you think here in Nats Rangers?
Yeah. First of all, Jim, I was, I'm like trying to catch up a little bit behind here. So I sorry I didn't react more to your losing 18 pounds. That's fucking awesome, Jimmy the Bag. Not easy. That is not easy. Very proud of you, Jimmy the Bag. That is awesome and not easy at all.
I had the gout, like and it was just like I was like, okay, look, obviously things are not going the right direction. So
hell yeah. Yeah, Troy Torrance. I got planks, push-ups, pull-ups, burpees. Hell yeah. All right, let's see. Now Troy Torrance says database says Nationals. Yeah. This spot had me a little bit head scratching. There wasn't a line on the overnights that I saw, like a market line, so I didn't look into it that closely. My personal numbers are not going in line with what I think and the way the market is. So I'm staying off this one. Of course, watching out the 4-game sweep of Miami. How good are they really? I'm just going to stay off.
Nate Lowe plus 210 for our Mikey money for the ribeye play of the day. Thank you, Polo. This I want to be around with you guys. I want to cap for a long time, and you guys know that I do have a hankering for the soup. I like sauce. I drink heavily, but only on live stream, so I'm barely drinking anymore. But Saturday and Friday,
yeah,
that's
gonna be sloppy stuff.
I was going to say, I'm not going to add it to my official picks here, but I'm almost certainly going to tail based on Troy Torrance's recommendation, the Nats.
Well, this is
I'll
where
go fuck myself.
This is where I would just screw up. I want the Nats first 5. I mean, I find that way more appealing, but this has not been working for me. It didn't work again last night. I mean, but I would much prefer to have Mackenzie Gore on the hill against a Rangers team that's not hitting righties or lefties, excuse me. All right, so I plan to be on the Nats first 5. Jose's on the Nats at plus 131 and the under 8.5. And the ribeye play today, Nate the Great Lau plus 210. That is Lau, right? That's the Lau, right? Not the Low, right?
Yeah, there's Nate Lowe and Lau and Brandon Lau and all of those guys. It's all fucked up.
Troy says split a unit on first 5 in full game. The problem when I do that, Troy, is I just don't care as much. My unit size is just not big enough. I started the year at $200 and I haven't switched it in MLB. I was going to switch it as soon as I got hot, which I'm still waiting for. And just having 100 on each, I just, I just don't care enough. Let's
Jimmy,
move on.
You'll be happy to know, by the way, I canceled my gym membership, so
good.
Feels great. I feel great about myself.
No, but you're young. As soon as don't.
All I have to do apparently burpees, planks, and squats, and whatever the fuck Troy Torrance says, and I'm gonna be 6'6" in no time. So
I'm not sure if it works quite like that. Let's move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 19-9, 11-5 on the road. The Houston Astros 9-19, 4-9 at home. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Cookie Carrasco going up against Hunter Brown. Can anybody figure out the time to catch the falling knife with Hunter Brown? I can't. And he's a pitcher that I liked. I've stopped liking him, obviously. I'm not going to try and find out when he's going to pitch well. This total sitting at 9, minus 111 to the under. This got up to 9.5 for a while, but it's right back at 9. So we've had to move towards the under. Even though that was at 9.5, we've had a 12-cent move to the under, which is a big surprise with these two guys on the bump. Let's take a look at the total, the money line here on this one. We have the Guardians at plus 150. They opened up at plus 128, now 153. Jesus. I mean, a 28-cent move to Hunter Brown and the Houston Astros. Good God. Let's take a look at the cash flow on this one. On the total, you have 68% of tickets and 79% of cash on the over. God, I hate the way this is setting up for me. I mean, I'm going to be on the under and the Astros. I mean, it's just awful. I don't have to, obviously. But, the Astros are public. 81% of tickets, 78% of cash. I would say what's more appealing here is not that the line's moving towards the Astros at home, is that the under is being bet, which is the surprise, which I may find more appealing. This Guardians bullpen's excellent. 2.53 ERA, 1.06 whip. They've converted 10 to 15 save opportunities. If you're going to bet an under against the Astros, you want to make sure that you have the pitching staff that can, keep you in the game. Astros bullpen's been terrible. The Astros have only had 8 save opportunities right now through 28 baseball games. 8 save opportunities for, a team like the Astros, and they've only converted 2 of them. 2 for 8. Now the Astros are hitting righties with a nice average of 262, but no power at 730, and the Guardians are struggling against righties 238, 684. The question is, can Cookie Carrasco keep the Astros at bay? When he's coming off an 8-0 loss at home versus the Red Sox, he allowed 5 runs, 3 jacks. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jose. Let's hear if Jose can pull the trigger. Jose, take it away, Guardians, Astros.
Yeah, I'm not going to here. I don't trust Cookie against really good lineups, and the Astros still have a really good lineup. And Hunter Brown, I don't know what to make of him either. The line movements does indicate this is an Astros spot, and maybe if you're inclined, you Astros Brewers money line parlay and call it a day there. But I think Lee Davis and Slow Jams are right. Coming away from Mexico City Coors, we typically fade those guys. And I think the Astros are in one of those situations for sure. So I probably stay off. I would just rather, watch this game and see how the markets, what the markets hold in this game, I guess, and see if they're right.
What do you think about this spot? Pistol Pete Loshak, take it away.
So you're saying that it's moving towards Houston and the under?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. My thought was well, I didn't really have an opinion on I would have been leaning Cleveland and the over. I still don't trust either of these pitchers really. Hold on one second. I'm just looking at stuff. I think I might take run in the shot with that. I'll see what the odds are. Are there people who are deep into this shit expecting Hunter Brown to be? I mean, his strikeouts are up last start.
Yeah, 6 Ks over 4 innings.
I mean, he's definitely rounding to form a bit.
I like to trust the Astros brass here, but it's not easy. I mean,
the thing is, Jimmy, and we talked about this beginning of the year. You've heard me say I think the Astros are donezo. It's not the same Astros brass that we can trust anymore. I mean, Click isn't there. Fucking Bagwell or whichever fucking Craig Biggio was running the team for a long time. And Jim Crane is getting his muggy hands in it as well. I just don't trust these guys anymore at all, especially, again, when you sign a closer for gigantic money. Is the first sign of you're shitting down your pants and you don't know what to do.
I will add on officially run in the first, yes, at just minus 115 at Caesars. I'll shop around. Doubt I can get better than that. Pinnacle has 119. Caesars 115, so I'll take that one. Run in the first inning, yes, minus 115. Caesars.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't sit here and just base solely on market alone. I can't do it. I imagine that the Astros are going to win in this game. Somehow it's going to go under. I mean, I think that Lee Davis makes a great point of the Astros leaving, elevation, of real elevation too. So, with all that said and done, I just, I'm just off. I'm off. Maybe this is a mistake. So we'll see. And Mikey Money says this is a Cleveland and over 8.5 plus 310. Says we'll see if he pulls the trigger later tonight on last call. All right, I say we roll on. We roll on.
Okay. Yes,
we roll on.
All right, next up for us, 9:38 p.m. Eastern. So in this game, we've already heard that BJ is leaning towards the Phillies, but beyond that, we have heard that young Matty Ice has made this the taint play of the day. It is Phillies first 5 minus a half is taint. Also, he's liking Harper total bases over 1.5 are Matty Ice. Philadelphia Phillies 9-5 on the road. Angels 4-9 at home at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Why don't we start with the weather over there in Anaheim? We have 65 Fahrenheit, 9 miles per hour out to left center. It stays between that right at that number. Then from a money line standpoint here, we have these Angels sitting at plus 127. Opened up at plus 123, now plus 127. So a very slight move towards the Phillies. They've gone from 133 to 138. So a 5-cent move there. From a total standpoint, this one is sitting at 8.5 at Pinnacle. It's not a real 8.5. This opened up at 9, and then it moved. It was a real 8.5 there for a bit, and then it got back up to 9. And now it's back at 8.5. It's done this a couple times in the last 4 hours or so. It's juiced to the over at minus 118. So it's not as big of a move as you would think, but has kind of gone from 9 to 8.5, plus 105 to the under. Mally Mal says this Phillies pen is trash. So is the Angels pen. I mean, the Phillies pen 5.54 ERA, 1.48 WHIP, converted 8 of 13. The Angels bullpen 5.43 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, converted 7 of 10. So Spencer Turnbull going up against Tyler Anderson. We have 82% of the tickets and 79% of the cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. And on the total here, we have 93% of the tickets and 94% of cash on the over. That shocks me. I legitimately thought, I was like, wow, could this be a real sneaky over? And it just, these pitchers have both been excellent this year. How could all that money, all these tickets be on the over? I'm very surprised. Turnbull, 2-0, 1.33 ERA, 0.85 WHIP. I mean, he's been very good. Coming off 7-4 loss to the Reds, he only allowed 1 earned run, solo shot, 8K, 3 walks over 5 innings. I can understand why the taint play today is on the Phillies first 5 minus a half, because the one thing that the Phillies have done this year is hit lefties, 271, 754 OPS, and Tyler Anderson coming off 6-5 loss at home to the Orioles. Now, that was a pretty good performance. That was at home against the Orioles team that smashes lefties. So now he's back-to-back teams that smash lefties. Chose the one looking at that first 5 minus a half as well. So here we go. Jose Bouquett, what's the plan? Take it away. We have Angel Stadium, the Angels hosting the Phillies, and we've heard taint play of the day is on the Phillies first 5 minus a half.
No play. I'll stay off this one. I'll keep it kind of short and simple. I do think and hope that the Phillies go get some bullpen help at some point throughout the year because, again, they're my World Series team, unfortunately. But, yeah, I have no action here. Tyler Anderson and Spencer Turnbull, I actually thought maybe this could be an under kind of game, actually, for me. Turnbull has been phenomenal. It's been kind of shocking to see how good he's been. And I don't know how long it's going to last here, but I don't know if the Angels were the team or would be the team to get him. And Tyler Anderson had that one really good year with the Dodgers. And from then on, he's just been kind of seeing it out since then. So I'm off this game. It's very interesting. Troy saying he says that he'd like to see this market move towards LA and close around 115, in which case he'll be all over the Phillies here in a public trap or a sharp trap kind of situation here. And Troy, could you go over what the parameters are for a sharp trap here again? Because I got caught in it yesterday and I need to remind myself of what they are.
Can you explain to me, Jose, why 93% of tickets and 94% of cash would be on the over in this spot?
It's a good question. Obviously, the fact that the Phillies hit lefties, that helps. But like I said, I leaned under in this game, and it's funny that if you look at the market, it really hasn't moved to the over. You can correct me if I'm wrong,
no,
Jim.
It's moved to the under. Moved slightly to the under. Yeah.
Minus 115 opener, and I've seen minus 120. Yeah, like I said, I thought this game would be an under kind of game. The Phillies haven't been, playing that great. And I know they hit lefties, but I think that Turnbull can just have another one of his really good starts, and this could be like a 5-0. I think that the Phillies could just shut out the Angels here and make that under more appealing.
Pistol Pete Loshak, what do you think of this spot, Phillies Angels?
Yeah, I agree. I was heartwarming to see that the taint play of the day is first 5. I like Philly to hit Anderson here. We'll start with Tyler Anderson under 4.5 strikeouts plus 109 current line Heritage. Shop around. Tyler Anderson under 4.5 strikeouts plus 109 at Heritage. And I also want to double, maybe triple up, maybe like the Philly team total over, first 5 team total over, something like that. I think I will take the Philly, I think I'll take them full game just in case somehow they only get 2. And then, if they get to 3 in the first 5, then I think they'll be okay. So I'll take the Philly team total over as well. 4.5 minus 115. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I'll search around for something maybe a little bit better. Maybe look at Caesars and buy to 4 at some horrifically bad mathematical line. But I'll look around. I like the Phillies here in general as well. -1 team total over. First 5 team total over. to hit Tyler Anderson. Turnbull, I think, is pretty impressive. How long is that going to last? Not exactly sure, but I'm definitely not looking to fade him or looking to time a reversal of form from him at the moment. At some point this year it'll happen, but not now.
Does that make you want to add anything, Jose, or do we move on?
No, we can move on. Nothing here for me.
All right. So at this point, Pete's made official the Anderson under 4.5 Ks and the Phillies team total over 4.5. We'll see if he adds to any of that. Yes. Rocco Rogers on the Phillies first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 100. BJ was leaning towards the Phillies, so we'll see if he pulls the trigger. And Matty Ice tank play of the day, Phillies first 5 -1/2. He also loves Phillies full game and Harper over 1.5 bases. We move on to 9:40 p.m. Eastern. By the way, Joe Yurkovich says I think Philly puts up at least 5 tonight. Atlanta Braves 19-8, 8-4 on the road. Seattle Mariners 16-13, 10-7 at home. We're at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. I imagine that it's cool temperatures out there and that roof will be up. It is, 51 Fahrenheit at first pitch, so the roof is closed. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Braves, Mariners. We have the Mariners sitting at plus 109. They opened up at plus 115. So, 6 cents of movement towards these Seattle Mariners. Let's get into the total here for this one. This total is sitting at 7 minus 111 to the under. This opened up a plus 107 to the under. So we've had an 18-cent move to the under. Very, very interesting. That is with 59% of the tickets and 50% of the cash on the over. Then we have 77% of tickets and 96% of cash on the Atlanta Braves. The Mariners have been very good to us here in these situations, Jose, when the market is, when all the cash is on the other side. They've been very good to us. But you have, Jose, nailed Ronaldo Lopez in unbelievable fashion. Now he's only 25 innings into his season, but you talked off the top about him winning that 5th spot in the rotation, how good he's been. 0.72 ERA, 0.88 whip here. His last start, now it was at home against the meat-hitting Marlins, but he completely shut them down, allowed the solo shot, but went 7 innings, 6 Ks, and 2 walks. Luis Castillo, on the other hand, has been good. Coming off 4-3 win at the Rangers, it was good. Now, the Braves smashed Reddies 273, 782 OPS, and the Mariners struggle 221, 660 OPS. Both bullpens have been quite good this year, especially the Mariners bullpen. It seems that this is, the similar story as last 2 years. Mariners bullpen just looks locked and loaded. Converted 7 of 8 save opportunities. They have 2.42 ERA, 1.02 whip. So here we go. I mean, is this a spot where we just trust that the books are going to get theirs? 96% of cash is on the Braves, and this line's moving towards the Seattle Mariners. Jose Bouquet, take it away.
Yeah, it's interesting that, again, you have the line moving to the Mariners. We'll talk about both books. Minus 107 opener. It got up to minus 130 at one point. Now minus 119. And on Bovada here, it had minus 131 opener, now down to minus 124. So that's interesting. Honestly, I wish this wasn't so public. I'm not going to be on it, but I did want to back the Braves here. I really did. After that shitty loss yesterday, it's semi-appealing, but I just didn't. I don't trust Castillo, and I haven't all year. I was going to say he kind of seems like he struggles against better lineups. Last time out, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against the Rangers and dominated Colorado, 2 hits. But before then, he gave up 3 runs to the Cubs, 4 runs to the Blue Jays, 4 runs to the Guardians. Maybe it's just early season woes, but it's Braves or nothing for me here, honestly. But the market's just not jiving. I wish there would be more movement towards the Braves with not 77% of the bets and 96% of the money. No action here, but like I said, I initially wanted the Braves, but the market just didn't agree with me.
The Mariners have been so good to be in this situation, and Troy giving us all the numbers. 6-0 at home, straight up when the line moves towards them. I mean, I don't see why I don't just go right back to it. But let's hear what Peter Loshak has to say. Lopez Castillo. I mean, are we getting a discount on Castillo now because he's sitting here with a 4.15 ERA, 34 2/3 innings into his season? Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, I do kind of like the over here, and I do kind of like Seattle maybe a little bit here. I do kind of like Lopez under 6.5 strikeouts, although that's makes me very nervous. But yeah, Jose Bouquet, you think Lopez's awesomeness is going to continue for the foreseeable future?
I think it'll continue up until the All-Star break or until he gets hurt.
Right. That's what I mean.
If he keeps staying in his routine and rhythm, and he keeps starting all these days, I see no reason why it should stop. Yeah.
That's literally exactly what I mean when I say foreseeable future. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna hold off here. My numbers like a little bit Seattle and the over and Lopez under strikeouts, but I guess I will not pull the trigger on it.
And once it gets to the bullpen, Jimmy, you should feel confident because the Braves bullpen, does not, inspire confidence to many. So this is definitely one of those things that you have to kind of grit out the Lopez innings and then hope. I mean, and plus the total being at 7 makes you already feel like this is going to be a lower scoring game. So if you can grit out the first 5-6 innings and then keep it tie or close, I think you definitely have a good shot.
Okay, this is what I think. And I'm not just going to think it, I'm going to bet it and deal with it. The Ronaldo Lopez spectacular start to the season doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, yes, you nailed it, Jose, but I mean, he's pitching better than Sandy Koufax. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. He can't possibly keep this up, in my estimation. He's coming off, the easiest start you could imagine at home against the Marlins. Castillo, we're getting this huge discount on him. Huge discount. And he's gone up against tough lineups. And he's been fine. He hasn't had that lights out start at home either. He's had 2 starts at home. The first one really early in the year, he got touched. He looked good against the Cubs. I think this is a huge, huge advantage with Castillo over Lopez. Now, the numbers don't indicate it, obviously. So maybe you should be trusting the numbers, but I'm saying the sample size is too small. Lopez is going to wake up and be the bum he's been. And I think Castillo can be better, and I expect him to be better. So I'm going to double up on the Mariners first 5 in full game and fucking deal with this, whatever the fuck happens, man. So, all right. So you guys want to add anything, either of you, to the spot?
I'm good.
No, but I agree with you. My number's kind of like Lopez under strikeouts, over a bit, and the White Sox, man. I mean, sorry, the Seattle Mariners. Whatever fucking game we're talking about, Seattle.
Okay, we'll see. I really do think that this is a real wonderful situation here. With Lopez having this spectacular start and Castillo looking average, we know that's not the case. So, I'm with Noli and Kuji. In fact, I really like it after but that doesn't necessarily equate to cash. I just want to take one last look at the cash flow in that one spot so I can.
Noli says that Luis Castillo shoves today as well.
Yeah, I think this is a spectacular gambling opportunity, truly, because of Lopez's and I've already broken it down. I don't need to reiterate it. I'm with the guys. I needed to get there, and now I'm gonna love. Well, who knows? It could go against me quick because Braves lineup's dangerous, but it's gonna be a fun way to close out the night. All right, let's roll on. So,
all right, sorry, Jim. I'm sorry, Jim. I'll chuck on Lopez under 6.5 strikeouts minus 129. I will.
Lopez under 6.5 Ks at minus 129 for Pistol Pete Loshak. Okay, let's roll on. So I've doubled up on this game, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, and I used a couple reasons that may come back to haunt me. We heard Dabby Cab's breakdown of Nick Martinez. He thinks Nick Martinez is trash and shouldn't be starting. We watched Nick Martinez get lit up and smoked last start, and we were here with you guys. It was an afternoon start. I was on Phillies first 3 and first 5, but I had the -0.5 on both, and they both cashed. Nick Martinez got touched in the second inning. We have Yu Darvish off of IL. So Yu Darvish off of IL, it's neck tightness. Now, for me, he's coming back as soon as he's eligible. He had the bullpen. They checked him out of the bullpen. He has not gotten off to a good start this year. I expect him to shove here. And maybe that's ridiculous, but it's not an arm injury. And I know a neck can be tricky, but he didn't look very good off the hop. So it was nice that he got this 15-day to kind of figure out why is he not pitching very well. His last start at the Dodgers wasn't bad, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, but he's got a 4.18 ERA, 1.27 whip, 22 Ks and 10 walks. I mean, that's not his regular K to walk ratio. He's better than that. I believe he's better than that. And so the Padres smash righties, 270, 745. The Reds don't hit righties, 218, 669. Both bullpens have been good. And so I moved on the Padres' first 3 plus a half. I got that at, minus a half, excuse me. I got that at plus 125 at 365. And then at Pinnacle, they gave me the first 5 minus half at plus 102. And so, look, is Martinez is trash as Dabby thinks he is and others do? Well, I hope so. It made me a lot of money 5 days ago, and I wanted to make me a lot of money here today again. So let's take a look at the situation here. We'll start with the weather. We have 61 Fahrenheit, 8.8 miles per hour out to right field, between 8.8 and 8. It's a little warmer than it's been for nighttime baseball in San Diego. And then from a money line standpoint, we have Darvish at minus 174. Wow, Jesus. Now it's back to minus 165. But wow, this went from minus 137 to minus 165. Huge move towards the Padres. I love that shit. Love that. That makes me feel good. This is going to be, I'm going to have a ton of action going on late at night tonight, and I'm excited about it. The total sitting at 7.5. It opened minus 105, 107 to the over. It's now minus 116 to the over. It had a 9-cent move to the over. And then when we get to the cash flow, you have 73% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the Padres. So, it's a little bit of public, and the bigger bets are coming in on the Reds. But this line's moving drastically to the Padres, so I can be okay with it. 98% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over. Okay. Rocco says it's a Padres spot, but it's hard for me to back the Padres and Darvish at the moment. We got BJ's bets, and I'm going to copy and paste that. My dude says, Jimmy, I agree that today's a Darvish get right day for show. Says, I like Darvish strikeouts over and him to deal today. So let's roll. Take it away, Jose Bouquet. What do you think of this spot? Do you agree with my take, or do you think I'm in peril?
No, I mean, I generally agree with you, and we all cashed on that Nick Martinez start, which was nice. I took the under in that start, and I cashed. It was 5-0. Final score, which was nice. I kind of lean under here again, truthfully. 98% of the bets, and I think 98% of the money on the over in this game, and we've seen like 5% or 5 cents of movement, and it's gone to the over, so that's nice, but I lean under here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw another replay of that last start. Yu Darvish pitches well. The Reds give up 5-6 runs, and the Padres hold them scoreless. So I lean under here. I don't want to put my money on this game. I just don't trust the Padres bullpen enough. So if I had to back it here, it'd be Darvish first 5. Shout out to Dabby Cab. But no action. I did just look up because we've had 3 spots with dramatic line movement towards them and more public money and bets on them. Brewers Astros parlay, 3-1 parlay, semi-interesting, but I don't think I'll be on it. I just stay off and I'll keep watching.
And Joe Yurkovich says Martinez revenge spot. See, I thought the opposite. I was like, these guys know this guy inside and out, and he's not good enough to be a starter. So, but you could be right, Joe. This could be Martinez showing his character and shoving back against a team that didn't want him. But I don't think he's good enough to be a starter. Take it away, Pistol Pete, Loshak. We have these Padres at home to the Reds. Friars at home to the Reds.
Yeah, you guys pretty much said it all. It's going to be a pass for me. Interesting situation, but pass.
All right. So that's those were the 2 double up spots. That's the final one that I moved on before the show. The rest I'll be adding. We move on 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Los Angeles Dodgers 19-12, 10-4 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 13-17, 7-7 at home. We're in Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's find out right off the hop about the roof status. And we have Diamondbacks roof status is open all week. So Monday, well, we don't know what's up Friday, Saturday, Sunday because they have the day off Thursday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the roof is open in Arizona. So let's go over to the wind and weather. 90 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour left to right. Stays between 7.8 and 9 miles per hour. I'm so excited that it's getting hotter in North America. From a money line standpoint here, we have the Diamondbacks minus 103. Opened up at plus 102, now minus 103. 5 cents of movement towards them. On the total, we have it sitting here at 9.5, minus 106. This opened up at 9.5, got up to 10 a few different times. And right now it's got that 5 cent move to the under. So a 5 cent move to the under, a 5 cent move to the Diamondbacks. We go over to the cash flow here for this one. And we have 85% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the Dodgers. Well, obviously, that makes the Diamondbacks more appealing to me. 48% of the tickets and 58% cash on the under. There's supposedly 10s on the board. And Slow Jams Arsenal says Dodgers team total over. Don't overthink it. I mean, Dodgers smash lefties. 281, 767 OPS. Montgomery looks like he's in nice form. But what can you say? Montgomery coming off the loss at the Cardinals, and that was uncomfortable, right? That was when we took what's his name? Kyle. What's that old timer? Fuck, whatever.
Gibson.
Gibson. Thank you. That's when we took Gibson over Montgomery uncomfortably because the market kind of indicated that was a move. But Montgomery looked good. 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk. Landon Knack on the other side. You know, he started his career with 2 good starts. Montgomery started his season with 2 good starts. Landon Knack, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 3 walks, 11-2 win at the Nationals. So, I mean, both these pitchers have 2 quality starts under their belt. But the Diamondbacks just aren't hitting, and they aren't hitting righties. 210, 635 OPS, and their bullpen struggled. 4.61 ERA, 1.39 whip, converted 6-12, whereas the Dodgers bullpens look very good. So here we go. Jose Bouquett, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, take it away.
Jimmy, we've talked about this before, but is it true, or can you confirm that which is the worst day for that, travel spot? Because I've heard, I believe on this program that it's the second day after a long travel spot that really fucks you up.
That was the story, yeah.
Yeah, so I was on the Diamondbacks yesterday, and I was on with Mikey, and Mikey actually was the one that told me that, or reminded me that these Dodgers went from Toronto to Arizona, maybe longest flight in baseball that you can take. And they go out there, they play well yesterday. Now I'm sitting here again like, all right, sure, they went out there and pitched well and hit well yesterday, but can I do it again with Landon Knack on the bump? I lean Diamondbacks here for sure, and I was kind of back and forth on it. I haven't moved on it. But yeah, it's Diamondbacks or pass for me, and the market for the total I was hoping would be more towards the over, or I guess the market moving me towards the under, and I was hoping more bets would be on the over here. But yeah, 85% of the bets, 69% of the money on the Dodgers makes the Diamondbacks appealing. I haven't moved on it. I don't think I am, but Diamondbacks are interesting to me for sure.
And me. I'm very interested in pulling the trigger. Let's see if Pete pushes us towards that. Take it away, Pete. Dodgers, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I'd be leaning Diamondbacks. Probably a little bit more team total over, but yeah, definitely leaning D-backs. Not sure if I want to pull the trigger on it though.
And sorry, Benjamin, I'm just writing out. Thank you for tracking that stuff. I love that. I love that teamwork. So respect to you, Benjamin. Yeah. I don't have time to write it out, but thank you. Thank you for doing that. Matty Ice says Montgomery owns bets, and for me, that is key to beating this Dodgers team. D-backs are pass only for me. I mean, wouldn't the Diamondbacks' first 5 be appealing? Do we really trust Landon Knack to shut the door here? Would you be looking, Pete, at a first 5 or a full game?
Kind of both, Yeah, both.
Now, are we so afraid of what the Dodgers are doing to lefties, Jose? Is that the problem here?
Wow. Well, Montgomery and the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks are favored first 5 and dogs full game, which is very interesting. We don't have that typically happen all that often. This opened up minus 113 first 5. Now it's minus 120 for Arizona. So very interesting.
That's enough for me. I'm gonna take the Diamondbacks first 5. I simply don't believe that Landon Knack is just going to come in here and be the man. I think Montgomery looks great to start the year off. So I can't trust the Troy says we need the Diamondbacks to close as favorites. I can't trust the bullpen. So I think that makes a ton of sense right now. But I'm going to be on, even though I kind of like the back end of the bullpen, even though it hasn't been that good. And Matty I says they don't do it to Montgomery, though. And BJ says it says Diamondbacks written all over it, but says, do you have the balls to fade LA? Troy saying we need the Diamondbacks to close as favorites. I'm okay here. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks first 5 and deal with the consequences. Anybody else?
Sorry, Jim.
First 5?
Hey, yo, Jim.
Yeah, my man.
I did it. Yes, I took run in the first yesterday, and I'll take it again here. Run in the first, yes, minus 118 current line Pinnacle.
Yeah, I've been back and forth on taking that all year as well with the Dodgers, but yeah, I'm right there with you, Jim. First 5 minus 120. I'll be right back. Someone's at my door.
No worries. All right, let's move on. For those of you who don't know, there was a skunk that chewed into Jose's roof, and now there's a leak in Jose's roof. That is Jose's first foray into his own place. No one knows that Diamondbacks score a lot in the first, and Troy going to roll with me. Let's move on to the final game here on the card before we get into I was about to say WNBA. I know it's coming. NBA. Pittsburgh Pirates 14-16-99 on the road at the Oakland Athletics 13-17 5-9 at home at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's get into the weather here in the Bay. 63 Fahrenheit, 11.8 miles per hour left to right, slightly out. Dies down to 10.1. Not a big deal here. Mitch Keller going up against Alex Wood. That was an excellent move by Jose and I to back Alex Wood and the Oakland Athletics at the Yankees in that last start. It worked very, very well. A lot of people in the chat told us not to trust Alex Wood. We thought that this was a great opportunity for him to kind of turn the season around. He's a guy who wants the ball. He wants to start. He wants the big games. Maybe he doesn't have the skill to take care of it. And maybe there's some teams that light him up, but we correctly backed him in that last start, and it worked. Let's take a look at the situation here. And the Pirates hitting 244, 719 OPS versus lefties. The A's hitting 205, 624 versus righties. And then the unbelievable advantage is the Oakland A's bullpen. This Oakland A's bullpen has been very good. 2.6.
Yeah, God bless Mason Miller.
1.09 whip, 8 of 12.
And they've got 3 guys that are really good. Lucas Urseg is also very good as well. There's a third guy that escapes me, but they're doing the damn thing over there in Oakland.
They are, and they have a 13-17 record. All of a sudden, they are 500 on the road. 4 games under 500 at home, 5-9. This total is sitting at 7. It's not a real 7. It's plus 108 to the under. So it's a 7.5, but it's moved down from 8. So there has been a move towards the under. When we get into the money line here for this one, and Troy Torrance says, why don't you use weighted runs? Jose does. Why don't I don't know. I've always done it this way. Maybe I should start moving it over. I've always done it.
The question, the answer was going to be, I've always done it this way. I knew that was going to be the answer. It's just old man stats there, Troy. Come on.
I've done it my whole life like this. I've set this up. This was the exact same setup when I was sitting beside Loshak 6 years ago. Maybe I should move.
Weighted Runs Created Plus was not available 6 years ago, Troy. That's why.
Pirates A's here. So on the money line on this one, we have the Mitch Keller and the Pirates at minus 131. They opened up at minus 127, so 4 cents of movement towards them. When we get to the cash flow for this spot, sorry, let's get over here. Sorry, my bad. When we get over to the cash flow for this one, we have 79% of the tickets, 77% cash on the over. It's dropped. This total's dropped. We have 67% of the tickets and 82% cash on the Pirates. I mean, a 3-cent move towards them is probably not enough for me to feel confident in backing Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller. Could you throw her up, See no evil, hear no evil. Our friend Helen Mitch Keller. Last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 2 walks, a 7.5 win at home over the Brewers. 5.14 ERA, 1.49 WHIP. He has not looked good. He's not looked good at home. He's not looked good on the road. I don't know how to trust him. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, Pirates A's last game on the MLB board.
Yeah, this was a similar spot. I took it yesterday in a cash, and I think I'm just going to keep taking it. Why are the Pirates favored here? I don't think they're a better team. I think these pitchers are honestly basically a wash. And give me the A's bullpen. Again, I said this the whole series with the Nationals and Marlins. Why were the Marlins favored there? I have no idea. So we just took the Nationals every game. Ended up great for us. We did it yesterday with the A's and the Pirates. Why were the A's not favored last night? I don't know. We cashed with that, thankfully. Why are they not favored here again? I'll take Oakland A's full game money line. Hold on. Actually, let's back up the Brinks truck a little bit. I want to take A's full game money line. But the main issue here, and the thing that's, I guess, scaring me off taking it and being official with it, I want to hear everyone's thoughts. I'm close to taking it, obviously, as you just heard. 15 cents of movement towards the Pirates in this game. And am I seeing minus 115 opener? Now it went up to minus 126 10 minutes later. So you can tell me this was actually minus 126. And then, sure, I believe you. Now up to minus 131. That's on Bet Online, obviously. And our friends at Bovada here, they had this opening up at a minus 133, now up to minus 138. With all that money, 67% of the bets, 82% of the money on the Pirates. I understand why it moves up. But I just don't think that the Pirates are a better team, and I'd much rather have the Oakland A's here, truthfully. So I'm very close to taking the A's, and I would love to hear some people in the chat, and maybe old sheepskin Loshak over there say that he likes the A's here today as well.
Yeah, old sheepskin cock Lopez. Let's go. Take it away, Loshak. What's your thought here?
Yeah, I was leaning over in Oakland. Don't understand the line movement at all. So, it is what it is. Yeah, leaning over. And I don't understand the Keller strikeout line either at 6.5. Seems like the under should be a very good bet, but not exactly sure what's up with these numbers. So I think I'm going to hold off for now.
I feel uncomfortable in this one. I can understand a legitimate breakdown as to why you like either side. I do not want to be involved here, and I do think that we're going to get the value continually with the A's on the road rather than at home. So I'm not going to move on. Now you do have Brent Cook on Oakland, so you have Brent Cook on him. So there's some backing, but I'm going to stay. I think I've got enough action. I feel very comfortable with my action here. Jose, did you want to make that official? Or are you going to hem and haw, I should say?
I'll do some hemming, and we'll come back to it at the action recap.
All right. Well, let's review all MLB action before we get to the NBA card here. So I'm going to be on the Cardinals in Game 1, 3:40 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm going to, if the Cardinals take care of business, I'm going to be on the Tigers first 5 in full game. I will wait until the right opportunity to do that. I want to fade Steven Matz every start he has for the rest of the year. Loshak has a Yurfie in Yankees, Orioles, and he's on Kramer over 4.5 Ks. Rockies, Marlins, we stayed off. Loshak is on Barrios over 4.5 Ks. And if I miss any of your action, we'll do a review at the end.
You want me to just run them all down now, or what do you want to do?
Sure. How about this? I'll just go over my action, and Jose will do his action, and then you do your action.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So then for me, I have Cubs first 3 at even money and first 5 at plus 112. And then I'm going to decide whether it's first 3 or a first 5 under in the Giants Red Sox. I'm not going to be on both. I know you guys are on that. And then for me, I'm going to be on the Nats first 5. And then the only other, Mariners first 5 in full game. I'm on the Padres already first 3 and first 5. I'm going to be on the Diamondbacks first 5. And that is my action. Jose, review your action, my friend.
Okay. what I'm leaving off, I'm going to leave off the Yankees. I'm going to leave off the A's. And I obviously am waiting to bet Detroit first 5 in game 2 until the results of game 1. So I have to remind myself of that. I'll write that on my hand. What I'm on now officially, I am on, let me pull it up again. Sorry. I'm on the Nationals plus 131 full game money line. I'm on the under in that game, minus 128 and a half. I'm on the Cardinals game 1 plus 113. I'm on the Cubs money line plus 110. I'm on the Giants Red Sox under 8 minus 110. I'm on the Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 money line minus 120. And I'm on the Minnesota Twins Chicago White Sox under 8.5 minus 105. And like I said, I will be on Tigers first 5 pending the results of the first game after the Cardinals win that game. And then I will move on first 5. And I probably will just stick to first 5 instead of going first 5 and full game.
Pistol Pete, take it away.
Okay, here we go. Again, all these lines are pinnacle unless I read the book. Kramer over 4.5 strikeouts minus 114. Bet online. Yanks Baltimore running the first. Yes, minus 104. Barrios over 4.5 strikeouts minus 161. Heritage. Minaya under 5.5 strikeouts minus 166. Caesars. We'll see. San Francisco, Boston, first half under 4, minus 103, and full game under 8, minus 106. We'll see. Peralta over 17.5 outs, minus 132. Heritage. Alexander over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 167. Heritage. Cleveland, Houston, running the first. Yes, minus 115. Caesars. Tyler Anderson under 4.5 strikeouts, plus 109. Heritage. Philly, team total over 4.5, minus 115. Lopez under 6.5 strikeouts, minus 129. I don't know about that. We'll see. And Dodgers, Arizona, running first. Yes, minus 118. I feel nervous about this card, Jim, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll be all right.
Yes. Well, you have been spectacular. Both of you gentlemen have been spectacular to start the season. So please keep it up. Please keep it up. Jose, you'll be back in action with us as we close out the show, my friend, but excellent work on today's card. Jose here 7 days a week on Pub Sports Radio, delivering the goods, and he's running real nice, up over 20 units. And
are you proud of me? I figured out how to do ROI. And by I mean Troy Torrance taught me how to do ROI.
Yes, I'm very pleased. But you still have your pushes up there, which I'm not proud of.
Okay, I'll take
those bets do not exist. They don't exist.
I'll take them off. Take them off. For baby steps, I got ROI in there. It took me 2 years, 3 years to get ROI in there.
You're on your way. You're on your way, my friend. But you're having a great season. I love to see it. Pistol Pete, Loshak, it's time to talk NBA, my friend.
Okay.
And we have some big ones. So let's get it started. We're going to start with Sixers Knicks. Take it away.
Oh, gosh. Sixers Knicks. Oh, gosh. All right. Lean Knicks, I guess. What do you think? No, Knicks are up 3-1, 2 overs, 2 unders. They're a, modest favorite here, low total. I don't really have an edge on this one. Free bet before hearing what everyone else has to say. Sure, I'd throw it on the Knicks at -4 or so.
Interestingly enough, now BJ got in at 5.5 on the Sixers, and stacks play there from Justin McKelvey's heart over 26.5 points and rebounds. As you guys know, Operation Garcia in full effect. I had friends message me yesterday saying, should we keep doing it because of the losses on the weekend? And I said, full steam ahead, of course. And yesterday was great. Yesterday we went 26-18 plus 5.35 units, made $928. So it was great. And here we're back at it. So when everybody's cashing these unders, I feel like I've got unders on every game just because of Operation Garcia. But this opened up at Pinnacle on Sunday at 3.5, moved to 4, and then it was at 4.5 for a lot of this morning, and it's back at 4. So if we're looking at Pinnacle market moves, there's been a move towards the New York Knicks. When we go over to Bet Online in this spot, Bet Online opened this at 4.5 and has moved it to 4. It was at 4.5 an hour ago, but they moved it back to 4. So if you look at Bet Online, there's been a half-point move towards the Sixers. If you look at Pinnacle, there's been a half-point move towards the Knicks. So it's up to you to figure out how to hammer this. Troy Torrance -4.5. Oh, that was for his trends. 3.5. Okay. Jarek White is on the Knicks. ProofBet says Sixers money line spot, and DC Capper on the Sixers +4.5 here. In this series, they're playing at 90.88 possessions a game. It's going very slow. That's 8 possessions slower than the Sixers played in the last 10 games of the regular season when they went 8-2. But Sixers are shooting the ball really well and not winning and not handling crunch time. They're shooting the ball 40.3% from 3 in those 10 games leading up to the playoffs. And then they're shooting at 36.3% from 3 in the playoffs. They're shooting at the same success rate as the Knicks in this series. Knicks are 37.6 from 3 and 43% from the field. When we go over to the cash flow for this one, we have 51% of the tickets and 55% of the cash on the Sixers. Very, very tight. On the total, we have 90% of tickets and 87% of cash on the over, which is a surprise. A huge amount of cash on the over. And we've been seeing unders just cashing nonstop. When we go over to that line history for the over, this is sitting at 203.5 right now, and it opened up at 204. We've gone a half point towards the under. Now, I like the under in a closeout series. I think, and look at this, Mike Money saying he's loving this first half under. Mikey Money says Embiid flu game coming, 50 points in the triple-double incoming. Troy Torrance says he bet the Knicks -3.5, and he says, here's what I will tell you and truly believe. If Knicks close 4.5, Knicks cover. If they close 3.5, they don't. There's our guy, Eldorado Custodian here. And Wine Time Sports on the 76ers +4.5. So a commanding 3-1 lead. And shout out to our guy, Lil Domo in the house, now a PSR Gold member. $50 horse races every Wednesday and Friday. Shout out to Lil Domo. BJ says Sixers not going home today. Jalen Brunson was spectacular in Philadelphia, both games. And he was just an absolute monster. In the first 2 games at home, he scored a total of 46 points and he shot 29.1%. You get him out into Philly and he breaks, Bernard King's record for most points by a New York Knick with 47. He went 31 of 61 from the field in the past 2 games. This is a Knicks team that's already, come back from double-digit deficits twice in this series. And Embiid did not look good late in the game. Now, he seems to always bounce back from these spots. There's a whole bunch of talk about OG being able to lock him down. In game 4, in the fourth quarter, he shot 0 for 5 from the field. But it wasn't just him. The Sixers were 6 of 24 from the field. They missed their last 11 shots, 4 of which Embiid missed, and 2 of them were blocked by Precious Achiuwa. Tyrese Maxey was 2 of 8 in the fourth quarter. This is a pressure-filled situation for both teams. And I don't know. I wanted the Knicks. And shout out to our guy, Jay Peasy, giving a Pub Sports Radio membership and Doug grabbing it. I wanted the Knicks, but I don't know if I can pull the trigger. I don't know. Take it away for us here, Pistol Pete. Is this a move that you want to make in Sixers Knicks?
No, I'm going to pass on this one.
I agree with our guy, Troy. I think if the market does move towards the Knicks, they become a little bit more appealing. But this is right now a pick 'em. What do you think of 90% of the tickets, 87% cash on the over, and it dropping a half point?
I would be leaning under, but not gonna bet it.
I know that all the unders hit yesterday, so people thinking that's going to bounce back to overs, but I find that under appealing here. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. Again, though, for that one, stacks play today. Hart over 26.5 points. Rebounds from Justin McKelvey. And best bet from BJ is the Sixers +5.5. Let's move on to game 2 here. Magic Cavaliers, Pete.
Magic Cavs. Yeah, this one, again, an even series here. The home team rolling each game. I'm sure that the spreadsheet, the database people can look and see how that happens. What happens in game 5? It tends to, after the first 4 games of a series, things to both sides and totals, things tend to stop going to form. I would probably be leaning Orlando first half team total under, something like that. Maybe a first half under. I think it's going to be another intense first half. Leaning first half under would be my play.
I think I'm really leaning towards the unders in that first game, Knicks Sixers, the first half and full game, and I expect to get there. I expect to get there now. Let's talk about this spot here, Pete, and this is another spot where I know what I want going into it, and I want the Cavaliers. I want them to bounce back. I expect them to bounce back here at home. This has been a series where the home teams have just dominated. This total opened up at 201. Again, this came out 3 days ago at 201 at 5 p.m. On the 27th. It's now a 201.5. It did get up to 202. This also got down as low as 199 earlier in the week, but we're back up to 201.5, a half point move to the over. When we take a look at the spread in this one, Cleveland is now -5. They opened up at 4.5. I had a chance to get in at 4. We're now sitting at -5. DC Capper on the Cavs. Troy Torrance on Cavs. My dude says Cavs should win this game. And North End says everyone will want the Cavs. So let's take a look at the cash flow here. And the reason why I didn't already bet it is because there's a lot of love for the Cavs. 90. Oh, it's gone down. Okay. So now it's 70% of the tickets and 41% of the cash. It's hard for me to understand that the big bets are coming in on Orlando, and that's not just a recency bias. BJ says Cavs spot easy. And Troy Torrance says the public is undefeated in this series. This is the first time that I've seen the bigger bets come in. I don't know, but Troy, maybe you've been tracking it. So the public is on the Cavs. The big bets are in on the Magic. And I'd like to be on the Cavs. This series, playing at a pace of 93.88 possessions a game, it's about 3 possessions slower than the Orlando Magic played this year, 4 possessions slower than Cleveland. What you would expect in a playoff type basketball game. We talked about Orlando's 3-point shooting was going to go way, way up when they got home, and that happened. And we destroyed game 3. Game 4, I went 1-1. I had Cavaliers first quarter and full game. I cashed the first quarter and lost the full game badly because of the run they went on. It was a 61-29 second half run for the Orlando Magic. Unbelievable. In this series, the Cavs are hitting 26.7% from 3-point line. That just is not going to continue. That's not going to continue. They're going to start shooting better at home, just like the Magic did when they went down to Orlando. So, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell didn't score a point in the second half. Wagner dominated 13-17, 34 points, 13 boards. The Magic got a ton of love from their bench. We talk about what happens in these playoff games is that the home team's role players step up, and for whatever reason, when they're on the road, they're invisible, and that's what happened here. Orlando's lost 6 in a row on the road. Their last win on the road was April 3rd. Cleveland has not scored 100 points in 7 straight playoff games dating back to last year. I don't see a world where the Cavaliers don't take care of business here. It makes me nervous to be on them with the public, but I just see the Cavaliers coming back home and smash and grabbing. So I want to be on the Cavaliers first half and full game. I don't like being on the public side. Should I be nervous about being on that public side, Pete?
No. I don't think in the playoffs, it's for years the Pats were a huge public side and they cashed, game in and game out.
I truly don't see how the Cavs don't step up and smash. I don't. I just don't see it. And I got to think that there's a bias going on with everybody seeing the Magic dominate. When have they done anything on the road? Even all year, this team was 18-23 on the road, let alone losers of 6 straight on the road. Come on. I think that we've got to take advantage of the fact that they just smashed the Cavs in 2 straight. We got to take advantage of Spider scoring 0 points in the second half. I think they roll. Cavs first half, full game for me. That's it. Are you moving on to anything here, Pete?
No, I'll pass.
Let's roll on to 9:30 p.m. Eastern, the final spot here on the board. And again, all these player props are going to be bet on the under. Another thing about betting these player props is, and I'm tracking it, I really believe Operation Garcia will work best if you bet the player props as soon as you can, as soon as they open up. Now, I know you need to wait for the late additions, and the late additions have been very, very, very positive ROI, very good. You need to be ready to add the additions, but the player prop market just gets sharper and sharper as the day goes on. There's no benefit in waiting, none. But I still want to prove that with the statistical analysis, which I'm building right now. Pete, set us up here for Pacers Bucks.
Pacers are pretty much Milwaukee's pretty much done, but here they are. They got a home game. I think they'll clamp down. They might even win the first quarter. I'm leaning first quarter under, although it's low, or maybe even Milwaukee just first quarter. I think they'll give it all they got for at least a quarter here against Indiana.
Yeah, I love that idea. This opened up with Indiana -3.5. Now they're -4. You got to think the role players step up. There will be no Giannis and no Dame time. It's amazing here. And can they step up again like they did in game 1? I find it hard to believe that they could. This total opened up at 216.5. Right now it's at 216. We have a half-point move towards the under. I love it, Troy. Yeah, I'll be in touch, my man, for sure. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. We have 68% of tickets and 75% of cash on the Pacers. 98% of tickets and 92% cash on the over, which is wild, which is something I wouldn't expect. Yeah, I like your look. I think this makes sense. I think we move on the first quarter here. Mr. Heat says, is it me or does this line say either Dame or the Freak will play? No, it doesn't say that either. Well, we know Dame's not playing. The only possible is Giannis and from all, unless something has changed in the last 4 or 5 hours, he's not playing tonight. It's doubtful and he's not playing. So, unless anybody knows something, but no, I just think what this line is telling us is exactly what Pete said, that there's an expectation that the Bucks will play with all of their heart in the first quarter, and that they're probably a good first quarter bet. This series playing 93.81 possessions a game. That is quite a bit slower than what the Pacers are used to. I mean, they finished the season, the last 10 games of the year, playing 6th fastest pace in the league, 99.95 possessions a game. But they're shooting the ball almost exactly as they were leading into the playoffs. They're shooting in this series 47.2 from the field and 35.5 from 3. And the Milwaukee Bucks are shooting the ball better than they were leading into the playoffs. Now, remember, they were trash. They backed their way into the playoffs, and it wasn't for the Cavs playing so bad, they wouldn't have won the division. The Bucks are not going to have Giannis. Eyeball 509 looking at the Bobby Portis double-double. John Chow says, no, it says Halliburton will be out. Let's pull up the latest information on him. That is obviously would be a big surprise. He is game time decision, but I mean, I thought that was non-issue. Questionable game 5 due to back spasms. Late addition to the injury report ahead of game 4. I don't think it says that either. Personally, but I love it. And John Child did the very important information. I think this is just the right line. Why wouldn't this be the right line? The Bucks have the Pacers aren't, that good of a road 21-20 this year. I think it's saying that the Bucks are going to throw everything. It's a kitchen sink game. No Lillard, but Middleton averaging 26.3 points per game. I mean, he's rolling. And you have Halliburton with the back spasms. Miles Turner is leading the way. By the way, Miles Turner went for 29 points, 9 boards, 7 threes, and that tied the franchise record. Chuck Person, 91, Miller in 95 and 2000, Reggie, of course, Paul George in 2014, and Bojan Bogdanovic. Yeah, I like the Milwaukee Bucks first quarter, and maybe also the race to 20, which I imagine I'll get a better line on. I think that makes perfect sense, your thought process in this game here, Pete. I really do. I think the Bucks are live. But I don't want them. I want to cut down as short as possible. We know that Fiserv is going to be going bananas. Let's take control of that momentum. The question is, do I go on the race to 20 or the first quarter plus points? I think you're right, and I'm going to bet it. I just got to. I don't think I double up on it. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Let's just see what the line is here on first quarter right now, if there's been any movement. Over at Pinnacle, it's Milwaukee +1 at -105. They opened up at +0.5, so there's been a half-point move towards the Pacers. And my bookie's moved it to +1.5. Is this something you're going to move on?
Yeah, I'll take first quarter +1 -105 current line Pinnacle.
Loshak's on the Pacers first quarter +1 -105. I'd like to be involved here.
Okay,
Troy Torrance
Jim, I
gives me the
kind of got to run. Do you mind if I just review my stuff and then jet?
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. So I'm not sure if I'm going to double up here. That's my only thing. I wrote Pacers down. My bad. But Bucks. I may double up on this. Race to 20 and first quarter as well. I'm kind of leaning to that right now. BJ says Bucks don't come out first half. They won't win the game. They need to come and throw everything at them, and I expect them to do that. Jason Work, yes, I am on the Predators tonight. I am betting them. I have bet them already. Okay, we're going to do a quick review of all action, and then Jose and I will shut this show down. So, Pete, Pete, Chang Kim said he wants to go in on a 2-bet parlay with your favorite bet and mine as well. So, review your action, and then let us know what is the part of your friends.
All right, so you want me to do the NHL too?
Yes, everything, please.
All right, so NHL, we got Boston -1 +114. That was Heritage. I didn't chop around, but I'll just take that. Nichas point -112. Morrissey assist -108. Ehlers shots on goal over 2.5 -127. Bet online. Velarde over 1.5 shots -159. Bet online. Velarde point -106. Bet online. Wood over 1.5 shots -170. Bet online. Luke Evangelista over 2.5 shots +129. Bet online. Nyquist assist +107. Elias Pettersson under 2.5 shots -164. Bet online. Lindholm under 1.5 shots +126. Nashville race to 2 -101. Caesars, and that's it for NHL. Then my MLB I already ran all the way down. Milwaukee Bucks first quarter +1 -105, and that's it.
So, what would be the best bet that you would give to our guy Chang Kim?
Geez, well, I do a lot of props now, so I don't know if you sometimes they won't let you parlay props. So I'll try to pick something that's not a prop. Let's see, what do we have here? Gosh, I don't know. I guess the Boston game under that looks pretty. Oh yeah, okay. We'll give him a team total. That's a prop. Philly team total over 4.5 -115, 120, whatever you got.
Philly team total. Is that first 5 or full game?
That's full game.
Full
4.5 -115.
Full
is
game.
what I got.
Philly team total. Okay, here I've got mine. Mine is Seattle Mariners first 5. 6% of the cash is on the Seattle Mariners in this baseball game. The line's moved towards them. The first 5 is moved at all books.
Okay, thanks, Jim. I got a jet. All right, I'll catch y'all later.
There he is, Pistol Pete Loshak here. So that is the Chang Kim action. So for Chang, it's Phillies team total over 4.5 and Mariners first 5 here. Mariners first 5. And just so you guys know, what I was competing with that Mariners spot was the Cubs first 5. I am, moving towards the Mariners, but that was which one I was going to do. I wasn't quite sure. Subhuman Gaucho with Rodrigo to score or assist here. So let's review all action here. And don't forget, Razor Sharp Picks sent us his whole card at Churchill Downs. We are so excited about our show here on Saturday. So excited for the Kentucky Derby show. It starts at 10:15 a.m. on Saturday. Jose's baseball show is going to be on as well, so please support Jose's Say Hey Plays of the Day. He's up over 20 units. He's just delivering. So that'll be on at the same time. And then hopefully Jose can jump over to the horse racing show afterwards and call some races because you bring a lot of fun to that. And so that's Razor Sharp's full card at Churchill Downs. In NHL, not having a good playoff. But we're in the black on the year, and I'm going to keep firing away. I'm with Pete on the Bruins. I'm on the Bruins -1, but I got a worse line at +106. And then I'm going to be on the Jets. I expect I can get a +110 or +115 if I wait. So I'm waiting. And I'm already on the Predators at +105. Then in MLB, I'm going to be on the Cardinals. I'm going to bet that here shortly. And like Jose scripted, if we cash that Cardinals, I'm going to be on the Tigers first 5 and full game, depending on bullpen usage. I want to fade Steven Matz badly. And then for me, I have the Cubs first 3 and first 5, a money line. I have either the first 3 under or the first 5 under in San Francisco, Boston. I've got to make that decision after the show. I have Nats first 5, which I haven't bet yet, which I will. And then I have Mariners first 5 in full game. You guys know that I doubled up on the Padres, and I really like that spot. Maybe that should have been the one to give Chang. I really like the Padres. You know what? I probably, if it's not too late, I think Darvish shoves here. I think he needed the rest. So I guess I would say the problem is that would have to be a -0.5, the Darvish, and maybe I'll stick with the Mariners. But it's the Mariners, the Cubs first 5, Darvish first 5 are all spots that I really, really, really like. Then Diamondbacks first 5 I'm adding as well. I think Mikey Money nailed it. I don't know why all this money is coming in on the over in Sixers Knicks. This is going to be a drag 'em out brawl. This is 80s basketball. So I'm going to be on the under, and Mikey Money loving that first half under. Maybe I should be on both. Then I'll be on Cavs first half and full game, and the Bucks first quarter, and the race to 20. Maybe I double up on all these basketball games and have 6 spots. I don't see why I wouldn't. I like today's NBA card very, very much. Jose, my friend, with your great success to start the year, what is your MLB action today?
Give it to you now. By the way, every time I watch or hear about the Canucks games, I'm always thinking about you, Jimmy, and how you're watching them. I know you've bet the Predators, and obviously you're a Vancouver guy, so it's very interesting how I think about you during these games. It's quite funny.
Look, I'm happy for the city. I mean, my hometown. I'm happy for the fans that know nothing but losing. But I don't believe in this hockey team. I love JT Miller. And I
didn't believe in them either. Those fuckers. Everyone was on Nashville that one day, and they just decided to break all of our hearts. Those sons of bitches.
No,
but whatever.
Look, these games are so much fun. These nights are so wild. They're so intense. We got so much action on the go. The thing for me right now is that even though the player props, the Operation Garcia hurt on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, not quite. Saturday, I think, was barely in the black, but I can lose $500 in a night, and the player props will take care of all of it. That's what's been happening. I just can't. It's been very, very, very helpful.
It's less stressful. I mean,
way less stressful. Knowing that, it's been great.
But I'm on Cardinals money line full game plus 113. That's game 1. If they win, when they win, I will be on Detroit first 5 game 2. Cubs full game money line plus 110. The under 8 in the Red Sox game minus 110. Von Grisham, by the way, making his debut today. Should be interesting. Wow. Should be interesting. Expect 0 for 4. Washington Nationals plus 131 full game money line, and the under 8.5 in that game minus 120. Arizona first 5 minus 120 money line there, and the under 8.5 minus 105 in the White Sox game. Yeah, there we go. White Sox Twins full game. So it's gonna be fun. Can't wait. I can't get too excited about how well I've been doing this. Long season. So
it's very important. So important to have confidence to start the year, though. That's why it's so important.
Yeah,
so,
it definitely helps. It makes me feel like the method of the madness is working this year.
And my dude, don't forget with that 3-way line, if Boston wins by a goal, you lose in the 3-way line, right? So so it's basically minus 1.5. Oh yeah, Jason Work. I'm doubling up on the Mariners first 5 in full game.
Yep. I'll be watching that, obviously. Very interested to see how you do there as well.
In what spot?
The Mariners one. Because I obviously would like to be there with you, but I'm a little pussy today, I guess.
No. You're seeing the board so clearly. Just keep doing exactly what you're doing. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. It's such a huge deal for you to have this. I'm sure for your bankroll and also for our show. So it's just so important. Thank you guys. Thank you all for rolling with us. We have a huge week ahead as it is Kentucky Derby week. But we
Yep.
can't do it without you guys. So thank you so much for your support. Ross Pitts, a bag back, Dan Bonner, Mikey, Money, Tampa Bay, and the over 7.5 plus 340 is the Grandma's Panties play of the day. And the ribeye play of the day. I have copied and pasted here. Can you just put up gotta find the ribeye. Where was that ribeye play of the day here? God damn it. Sorry. Can you put up I've got too many pages of notes.
Ribeye? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I wasn't listening. It's
No worries.
Nathaniel Lowe or Nate Lau.
Lau.
Whichever
It is Lau.
version of it. Yeah. So Nate Lau plus 210. You can see the record on screen. Shout out to Gold Miguel De Niro there.
Yeah. He's just running nice. Don't forget last call at 6 p.m. Mr. Heat, Bo Jackson, Old E. Thank you guys. Benjamin Mills, North Ender, my dude. Jarek White, Troy Torrance, Andrew G, AOD, Frank Virginia, Super True Story, Jay Peasy. Thank you guys. Rem Most, Cody Norton, Matty Ice. Thank you guys so much. Mally Mal, Real Deal Prime, Jay Peasy in the house. We love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. We have absolutely nothing without you. Jose, stay hot, my man. Can you please let us bless our action and we move on to the future?
Yes, let us do so. By the way, raccoon in my ceiling, in my roof, not a skunk, a raccoon.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's okay. So I get it. Both black and white animals, but we'll see. I'm about to let in a bunch of strangers into my house and let them just tear up all my shit. So I can't wait for that. Thankfully, they waited until after the program, so I appreciate that.
That's how you should do something for them, like cut the ass out of your pants or something.
You think it's already done? Shame on you. Shame on you if you don't think it's already done. By the way, Kawhi,
good neighbor. You are a good neighbor.
I try. Kawhi already out for Game 5, by the way, for those who care. All right, everyone, appreciate it. Let's fucking get some money today. Let's keep milking these fuckers in baseball, man. And let's Garcia method to victory. Leche. Los bookmakers.